Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and it is Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe with an amazing show. We had this early Zoom room show, and just the conversation that was already starting between some of our presenters was very dynamic, all about how science and spirituality is weaving together. You know, there's an interesting little factoid. Did you know that about the most ancient spiritual texts that have survived are the Vedic scriptures, written about 7,000 years ago? And in the Vedic scriptures, God, known as Brahman, is given 26 principles. Now, of course, our most modern science is quantum physics, where we have determined that the unified field is kind of this ever-changing field of molecules. And guess what? Our scientists have assigned 26 known scientific principles to the unified field. And those 26 principles of the unified field perfectly correlate with the 26 descriptions or principles of Brahman written 7,000 years ago. How amazing. And that's the world we're living in, where our science and our spirituality has come together. It's a very beautiful, beautiful thing. And we're going to hear from amazing people. Some of our favorite presenters and some of our favorite musicians are all here tonight because it's a night of the Global Coherence Pulse. Once every 3 months, we collaborate with Teresa and Global Coherence, and tonight is one of those nights. So you're going to see Teresa in a moment. She's going to be primarily hosting the show. We've got a great show. We do want to thank Wendy Grace, our sponsor. Thank you so much, Wendy, for making this show happen. And we want to thank all of you for watching. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, hey, come on into our Zoom room. We've got some room. And it's great to have you in our Zoom room. And it's really easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, and join us. It takes about a minute for you to give us your email address and to register, and then boom, you'll pop right in. And that way we can more easily see your questions, your thoughts. You can dialogue with our presenters. It's really a lot of fun. And there's a lot of advantages. Once we have your email, we will send you on Mondays a replay where you can access the recording of tonight's show. And you can access all 45 previous shows that we've done. We've been doing this since the lockdown began, and it's been amazing. And so if you haven't watched all the shows, there's some great shows to go back and watch. Binge on us instead of binging on Netflix. More inspirational and definitely a lot more. So with that, I am going to turn it over to my producing partner, the amazing, wonderful Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to now what is our 46th show that we've produced every Saturday night since the lockdown in April 2020 during these highly challenging but very evolutionary times. And we're midway through our winter season, January through March. And with your support, we are now creating our season 5 Time to Thrive, which is going to be April through June. And we thank you so much for your donations when you register, and the donations into GoFundMe and your ongoing donations, because that's what allows us to continue to bring you these quality shows every Saturday night. And tonight, again, is going to be an amazing show. Our theme is awakening our vast potential together. So there's no question that this is one of the most challenging times that our human family has experienced in many decades. And these challenges impact everyone on the planet together. And as many spiritual teachers shares with us, it's when life hands us the challenges that we have great potential for massive growth. So this is really a time on the planet where the opportunity of humanity has an expanded evolution together. And that's one thing that Saturday Night Alive stands for, is that not only does life present challenges, but the opportunity for massive growth together. And together we can inspire each other, enlighten each other, and share the potent, activated energy of deep love that we do on this show and pulse out to the world, as we're going to do tonight and has been happening all day with Global Coherence Pulse. And as usual, we have an outstanding group of presenters and musicians on the show, and we'd like to highlight that for you now. We have with us tonight Gregg Braeden. He is a 5-time New York Times bestselling author, scientist, pioneer in the emerging paradigm Bridging Science, Social Policy, and Human Potential. Thank you, Gregg, for being with us tonight. And we also have Dr. Theresa Bullard. She's a PhD physicist, host of Mystery Teachings on Gaia TV, and an international spiritual teacher with the Modern Mystery School. And we have Elijah Ray, who's been with us many times in music, but he's going to be speaking to us from his heart tonight. He's an international recording artist, composer. He's best known for his band of light that generates a full band sound as a one-man band. We will also have Ixchel Love, who is a community builder, spiritual midwife, entrepreneur, thought leader, and passionate about the human potential. We have Pete Longworth, who is devoted to distilling the most essential truths and artfully sharing it through his truth drops. And we have Teresa Collins. She's a whole system designer, learning community catalyst, coherence generator. She is the co-producer with us of this show. We'll be bringing her back in a moment. And as musicians, we have the wonderful Matia Washington. She's a singer and songwriter. She travels the world spreading positive vibes with her music. And we've got Cornflower back. His music emerges from the moment, connecting to you to your soul, and his voice calls us into deeper presence. And we have Jess Magic. She is a heartiest, a soul-stirring songstress, and a muse for self-expression and embodiment. Good to have you, Jess. And tonight, our GoFundMe, we are going to be donating to support the Global Coherence Pulse. This is an organization brought forward by Theresa Collins. It's a science-backed social collaboration to pulse the planet with frequencies of love and compassion, joy and appreciation, which they did all this afternoon tonight, also being monitored by global instrumentation and networks. And she's going to tell you more about it. And I'd like to bring Theresa Collins on now. She is an amazing woman. She's one of those persons that brings together high-level information and opportunities. She has worked alongside evolutionary leaders like Barbara Marx Hubbard, Richard Rudd with the Gene Keys, Jim Garrison of Wisdom University, Nassim Harriman. She brings all these people together and creates many massive opportunities for transformation. Her current projects include the Global Coherence Pulse, which happened today, and her new project, the Islands of Coherence Network. So Teresa, thank you so much for bringing your magic to our show tonight. And please share more about what we're going to experience here tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wondered if we could go on gallery view, and we have all of our speakers here and we can just see everyone. Can we do that?
Yeah, we're on gallery.
Here we go.
And you know what? We've got to mention Wendy Grace is going to be providing poetry.
Well,
So just want to acknowledge Wendy for a moment, because we always introduce all the different people that present. So there's Wendy, who's going to provide some poetry, which is something we're excited about. And
thank you, Wendy. And she's also one of our major sponsors and helps the show continue. Love you, Wendy.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to share a little computer sound too, just to have a little background sound as I'm talking, and you can let me know if that works okay, just volume wise with both things. Is that all right?
Yes, it's good.
This is a little music by Gary Malkin, who was going to be on our show tonight, and we decided to have him on our May show. So just this is a little bit of Gary, just kind of in the background. I know he's watching, and he's probably feeling really happy that I brought his little bit of sound in. And I just want to say I'm so grateful that you have all brought us into your living rooms tonight, that you're actually setting aside some time right now to be right here with us, to just be able to relax and drop into our hearts together and be in community and have some fun and have some laughs and be touched deeply in our hearts, and all the things that happen on these beautiful shows that Scott and Deborah and their team have been putting on now for a year. Like, right, we all just like stepped up. COVID happened, and we just started to say we need to come together, and it's made a difference. And so thank you guys for that. And as you said, we had a global coherence pulse this morning. I love having these pulses in the morning and then being able to come on Saturday Night Alive and carry that wave of energy and love and compassion and gratitude that we generated together, and hope, and ride the current of it tonight together in this session. So my intention is that we all get to relax together, that we get to be nourished here tonight with one another as we explore this one question together. And that's, how do we awaken our vast potential together? How do we awaken our vast potential together? Because it's actually, we're feeling it rising up inside of us. We're feeling it in every cell of our body, wanting to burst out when we can stop for a moment and come into our hearts and breathe. And when we're in communities like this, we feel it's coming, it's here, it's possible, it's our natural state. And so as we all, the different presenters that I brought, the different artists, these are all of my friends. These are all people that I love, that I know are sharing a new story. They're sharing a new way to like liberate what it is that we're here to offer each other in the way forward. Because for me, I believe first and foremost that awakening to our vast potential is an inside job, first and foremost. And second, it's collective by natural design. We're meant to do it together. So that's what tonight's all about. And so I just want to invite you to relax. There's one thing, we're going to put a link in the chat to a Slido, and this is a word cloud. And the word cloud, I thought we could use it tonight for a little interaction. So it's not just us sharing a response to this question, which I asked all the presenters and the artists, but that you could begin to reflect on what your answers are to how do we awaken our vast potential together. And maybe something that Gregg says or Matia sings or something sparks you, type it into that thing, and then we'll watch that word cloud grow. And at the end, we'll see what we say in answer to this question. So without further ado, Matia, my beautiful sister, I'd like to just like lay everyone into your arms as we just take a moment with you to drop into our hearts. Just stop right here, right now, and drop into our hearts. And breathe.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I was hearing the Holy Spirit, and it gave me a bit of this song that I hope will be able to encourage those that are watching tonight. It is divine purpose for you to be here at this moment, in this time, in this space. As long as we have breath, we are full of purpose. There is peace down inside you. We must let go of the pain that we often share in this cold world. There is joy at the river that flows with waters that heal. I'll let go if you make me whole. We must still hand in hand, making change all together. We have the power to heal our brothers and heal ourselves. There is peace down inside you. We must let go of the grief that we often share in this cold world. We can make this change together as we hold each other's hand. We have the power to make the difference. We have the power to heal ourselves. Free, free, oh, free, free. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, I so appreciate the beautiful place that you just brought us there. Like I really want us to be here tonight in the fullness of our experience, right? That's in the glory and in the pain, in the need for healing and in the need for rejoicing.
Yes.
And you just really just like pulled all of that into just one little nugget that we could have in our hearts while we open to each other, right? So we open all the way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Beautiful.
so much for the space, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we needed to start right there into the sacred center of our own sweethearts. Yeah. Thank you. Ooh, that was so good, so beautiful. And we'll hear from Matia again later. We'll just continue to have her presence in our space. And I'm going to go, and I'm looking at the word cloud as it's starting up. It's just so beautiful. So that I love that you're all kind of sharing your thoughts about what it will take. And together we're generating this new story right now. And I want to next bring on my brother Pete Longworth. And first, there's a little special slide. Saturday Night Alive Truth Drops with Pete Longworth. We had Pete on the first show, or the last show that I did for Saturday Night Alive, and I brought Pete on to do his Truth Drops. And we really said, you know what, these need to be a regular feature in Saturday Night Alive. So Pete, I'm really excited that this is the first time for us to bring that forward. And Pete is a photographer and a visual poet, and he is so much fun. I love you, Pete. You're so much fun. And of all of the people that I've invited to have an opportunity to share their presence, no one has stepped up to the plate in the same way that you have every time I've asked you. And I'm so proud of you. And I love you so much. And the world needs more Pete. Wow, that created an echo. Whoa, dude. Wow. That was cool.
That
Oh,
was,
you're off, Pete. Let's put you back on. Oh, you're muted.
Well,
Oh, you're muted.
okay.
The echo's you.
you know, this is the beauty of what's happening because we're from all over. Pete is in Bali, right? And I mean, we've got people from all over the world right now watching, and people all over the world coming in and doing this. And let's face it, we're all in our homes, we're all in our living rooms, and we do long sound checks, and still the excitement happens. I think your power of love for Pete was so great, Teresa. It was
I know.
just so big that it's just like blew out the technology.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what
Turn off the
happened.
All right.
Back to Pete.
No, we're good. How? Can you turn that off, please? All the way down.
Again.
How do we awaken to our vast potential? We choose. We choose to turn down the noise and turn up the creativity, to awaken the artist within. And it doesn't mean that you need to be a poet, a painter, or a pianist, because creativity is pure intelligence having fun. And so you can do this as you cut your carrots for dinner, in the manner upon which you greet your colleagues at work. The way you treat yourself can be a living art piece. And to move ourselves powerfully in that direction, I have 3 simple steps for you. One is inspiration, education, and action. Indulge yourself in inspiration, seek education, and take action. And so we're going to take a little waltz down the yellow brick road of these 3 pieces. And by the end of this, I'm going to offer you an invitation and provide some practical post-it notes in how just 7 days and with just 1% of your time, you can powerfully awaken to your vast potential. And so, number 1, inspiration. Find your inspiration, the thing that lights you up, the thing that tickles your fancy. Surround yourself in it, submerge yourself in this inspiration. And for me, it's always been photography. And as a photographer, it's seen me document everything from orphanages to the Obamas. And it's taught me how to attune to the beauty and how to find the splendor in the mundane. And by submerging myself in my inspiration, I've discovered that there is poetry alive in every corner. And so to kickstart your creativity, I'm going to share with you some of my inspiration in the form of some of my favorite images. We have a little video here. Find your inspiration and submerge yourself in it. Number 2, education. Seek quality content that elevates your perspectives. Invest in courses. Get lost in TED Talks, in audiobooks. Take salubrious adventures in rabbit holes that actually serve your soul. Number 3, take action. Make good choices. Make actions that take you away from the noise and take you towards the creativity. And be discerning. Because where you choose to invest your time and your energy will impact. It will impact what you believe is possible. It will impact where you end up in this world. It will impact how you feel. And so at different moments throughout the day, take the time to check in. Whether you're deep in the middle of something or whether you're about to get into something, do the choices you're making in that moment, do they align with your passions and your purpose? Do they walk you proudly in the direction of the life that you want to live? Or do they slowly but surely take you further away? At the end of the day, are you sitting in some endless scroll? Or are you sitting in the beauty of your own temple for a moment of meditation? Are you choosing poetry? Or are you lost in the porn of social media, mass media, prophetized media? Is your life being lived by design or default? When you go to bed, is your phone by your head waiting to yell at you in the morning? And when you wake up, is the first action you take of that day to mindlessly give your attention to external demands? So choose wisely how you use your time. And to help with that, I have an invitation or a challenge or gauntlet at your feet that for the next 7 days, with just 1% of your time, choose creativity, whatever that looks like for you. Reading, writing, drawing, making music, making love, dancing, breathing. Commit to doing just for 1% of your time, which is only 14.4 minutes. Commit to that slice of creativity before you mindlessly subscribe yourself to the needs of something or someone else. And pay attention. Pay attention as you do this as to how it feels to nourish the artist within you. Pay attention to how it feels to be productively moving towards awakening your vast potential. And while you're on this journey, remember that in the corners of every day live both problems and poetry. And whichever you seek, you will find. And if pretty pictures and the thought of enlivening your creativity and nourishing the artist within is an inspiring thought for you, I have a 4-week online photographic workshop that will so sweetly serve your soul. And if you'd like just a taste of this, a teaser of what this is like, on the 3rd of March, I'm hosting a free creative masterclass. And that will be dripping in inspiration, education, and action. And I invite you to sign up and tune in, because I promise you it will not be dull. Because not only will we be actively awakening our vast potential inside of this, we're going to have a great time doing it. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Deborah. It's a real privilege to be here.
Teresa, you're muted.
Thank you, Pete. So beautiful. Like I said, like Pete really just steps up to the plate. I love you're in black and white. We need more Pete Longworth. And I love the inspiration, education, and taking action. Super simple. We can apply it in our lives right now. Thank you so much, Pete. We'll hear from Pete again. I saw a note that Cornflower is having some trouble. Is Cornflower not with us?
He's out with us right now, so Dr. Bullard is up next.
Okay, great. All right. Well, Teresa, let's bring up Dr. Theresa Bullard. Hello, beautiful.
Hello, everyone.
This is the first time Teresa and I are meeting. I got to talk to her a little bit on the early show, and so excited to bring your love and presence into this, and really love that you bring the ancient wisdom with the science together. That's really something that is close to my heart, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about our question today, like how do we awaken our vast potential together?
Yeah, well, first I want to just say that was an amazing presentation by Pete. So just really want to give some thanks there for that inspiration and very well crafted artistic presentation. And yes, this topic of how do we awaken our vast potential and how do we do it together is such a good question, and it's so relevant for our time. And I want to just give you all a little sense of how vast that potential really is. Let's just start off with what we think, what we consciously think. Most people, when we are actively thinking in our daily waking life, we're maybe only consciously aware of just, some people say 10%, that's not a hard and fast number. But the tip of the iceberg, what we're consciously aware of is just the tip of the iceberg. And yet our brain is taking in data and information from our senses and our environment, from our higher consciousness, from spirit. It's taking in all this information and it's processing it, but most of that is happening beneath the surface of our awareness. Now, what would happen if we could just start to tap into maybe 20% awareness or 30% awareness and start expanding into a level of conscious awareness of higher functions or deeper functions that are going on within our brain? So that's just talking our brain capacity. Now, we also actively only use, or science is only really aware of, maybe somewhere between 3 to 5% of our DNA, that 3 to 5% of our DNA is actively used to build the proteins of our body and the instruction code for the genetic sequence. But then there's this other 95 to 97% that they call introns, or what they call non-coding DNA, that is they're realizing is actually very important, but they just don't understand it. So if our biological understanding of the DNA, which is the blueprint of who we are, is we're only really tapping into understanding about 3 to 5% of it, the rest of that DNA is like, we have so much potential to awaken to in terms of what is our blueprint. And it is potential that we have yet to activate some of it within us. Maybe it's just dormant. It's just, we have, for example, genetic codes within our DNA that could create regeneration from within our own cells, just like a salamander can regrow its tail, for example. That potential is within us. Super immunity potentials within us, greater awareness of all of our senses and our perceptions is within us. You can imagine, for example, some of your superhero movies, like maybe Superman with X-ray vision, or the super strength or super speed. We have a sense of that archetypally. We have that sense of there is more potential within us that's yet to be awakened. And some of the movies that have been coming out really try to depict some of this, whether we're talking from X-Men and our evolution into new abilities, or like Lucy, and just sort of finding ways to tap into it. But I like what Gregg Braeden said earlier, which is that rather than trying to hack the body with technology, like implanting chips into our brains so that we can be hooked up into the cloud and the internet, and having brain and internet interfacing, we can already tap into that potential through the collective consciousness, through the morphogenetic field. There's huge amount of potential that we have yet to tap into. Another thing to consider is that You know, if we just take our five senses, for example, what we see, we call the visible light spectrum. And yet we know from science that that visible light spectrum that we can see with our eyes is just a small sliver of a much greater electromagnetic spectrum. It's just 1%, right? So we're only seeing 1% of the physical reality around us. And then we're only consciously processing about 10% of that 1%. So now we're talking, you know, 0.1% of the physical reality around us. And that's just through our eyes. You have similar ranges through what we feel, what we smell, what we taste, what we can hear. You can hear maybe more broader spectrum than what you can see, which is why I love that we're bringing music into this experience to help create, you know, a unified effect, a unified field. Now, the other big key to all of this is, well, how do we tap into that, right? If we can awaken that potential, how can we awaken it? So this is where I feel that modern science and the sort of quantum paradigm is really important, because there is this key. It's a really important key, and it's a fairly simple key to remember, and it's called coherence. And this is something that we are trying to achieve here, is coherence. How can we achieve that within ourselves? How can we achieve that collectively? How can we achieve that globally? And, you know, so we have these coherence opportunities through things like entrainment. I'm not sure who's, is that my feedback or is that someone else? Sorry. Oh, okay.
Well, Dr. Bullard,
Yes.
if you pull your microphone up a little bit, we're getting the scratchy sound.
Oh,
or
okay.
You even hold, yeah, there you go. If you'd hold
I'll try holding it, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So when we can achieve a state of coherence within ourselves, let's just take, for example, brain coherence. You know, we have all these different frequencies and energies, you know, vibrational levels happening within our brain. Well, usually it's very stochastic or not so harmonized. But when you can start to bring more harmonization between the hemispheres of the brain and from the cortex and down, rather than just only operating in the cortex, then we start to reach a more coherent state. So it's a harmonic state. Everything is in sync. All levels are integrating and working together. You can even then start to work from brain to heart coherence, right? By focusing on breath work, by focusing on gratitude, by focusing, you know, doing meditation. These are tools, ancient spiritual tools that have been on the planet for thousands of years. But now today, modern science is starting to recognize the benefits that they actually have, how it does help us to come into a greater state of coherence. And even all the way down to the DNA, it's been shown. For example, the HeartMath Institute has done some studies that show that when we achieve a state of heart coherence, it actually is communicating with our DNA, because when we're experiencing states of gratitude, of love, of joy, and, you know, real positive energy, that causes the DNA coil to relax and sort of unwind or loosen its DNA spiral, so that the genes or the genetic potential that's stored within it can be more accessible and more expressed. Whereas on the other hand, when we experience things like fear and stress and anger and tension, and, you know, there's a lot of that going on in our world today, that is when the DNA will actually tighten its coil and less of our genetic potential becomes accessible to be expressed or accessed. Now, we have huge potential within us, but this state of coherence is really important for us to start accessing more of that state. So having a practice of meditation, having a practice of working, you know, with music and chants and so forth to bring yourself into a really coherent state, practicing gratitude, practicing really looking at things from a positive mindset versus negativity or judgment or opinion, really working with the some form of spiritual practice, whether that's rituals, prayer, meditation, you know, qigong, any of these types of practices will support you. And then we need to work on how do we do that together? So through in training, we can really work with together, by coming into states of being together and achieving that entrainment where we're all in resonance and we're all focused on the same intention, where we're all, harmonizing into the same frequencies through collective coherence, which is what we really need to achieve that global shift, that critical mass within the collective consciousness. When we can awaken to that, then that is when we will really be able to help create a spontaneous awakening for the whole of humanity. And it's just a small percentage, maybe 3% of the global population is needed to start coming into that coherent state, maybe even less. Some people say 1%, some people say the square root of 1%. I hope it's the square root of 1%, because then we really have an accessible range of people that we can bring into this kind of state of coherence. But we also need to sustain that. So it's not just about achieving it in a one-time intention, or meditation experience where a bunch of people gather together. We have to sustain it in our lives. And that's the last thing I want to say is just let's create a way of life that is a greater coherence. And when we can sustain that in our lives together, and that, there are thousands of people that start to do that and start to live that way of life, that is when the collective can start to entrain up to those higher frequencies and awarenesses. So that's about all I have time for, I think, right now. But that I just wanted to send that out there in terms of our global possibilities, our personal possibilities and potential, and that we can awaken. Oh yes, and this is one of the best methods that I personally have found to start that awakening process at an individual level is through something called the life activation, which I received back in 2001, and it completely changed my life. And then I followed that with initiation into the ancient mystery school tradition. So if that's something that you want to experience, it is done as a one-on-one session. There's practitioners all over the world who are trained in how to conduct this life activation session. It will start to awaken your spiritual blueprints, your DNA, and you can contact us at theresabullard.com, and we will be more than happy to get you connected to a local practitioner near you.
I'm going to unmute. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's stay on Teresa just for a moment, and we need to bring you into a global coherence pulse. Everything that you just said is exactly what that initiative is all about. So I'll definitely be in touch. I would love to have you come on and support the community that's growing around that and really practicing and building those islands of coherence.
That sounds wonderful, Teresa. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're going to go next to Elijah Ray. And I just want to apologize. I came to a hotel so I would have great internet tonight, because sometimes my internet at my home doesn't work and it's terrible tonight. So my audio's good. I'm on my phone, so if I'm a little fuzzy, I'm just a little fuzzy tonight. So Elijah, thank you so much. We were going to go to Cornflower next, but he's having a little trouble. So let's send him some really good energy. We're all good and relaxed here. We're in our living rooms together. He's been working really hard to try to get his gear going. You know how that is. So let's all just send him some good energy on this last day of Mercury retrograde. Last day. Yeah.
Yes. So much love to my brother Cornflower. I just want to dedicate this song to him and to all of you. And hey, Teresa, we all have fuzzy moments, so don't worry about it. This is our time just to band together. It's kind of like, when you see that flock of birds flying in a V formation, we got to switch it out every now and again, and I know many of us have been on the front lines. So I just want to say, let's take this moment to take a big collective deep breath. If you feel like you've been just like on the edge of the edge of the edge and given nonstop, take a moment for you, starting right here. This is a song called Gratitude. I send this out to my brother Cornflower.
Oh la la,
you could just think of something you're extra grateful for about this moment of your life. And like a master alchemist, just put it into your heart's fire and just bubble it for a little bit. Just brew some gratitude with me. I'm grateful, I'm thankful for you. Are here in my life, I adore you. My only possessions are the pearls that you gave me. I'm grateful, 'cause to walk the path of light, it wasn't easy, but now I see it so clearly. You gave it to my life, and now I know that you've always been there. Now I just wanna say, just want to say that I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I just wanna say, just want to say that I love you, babe. Yes, I just wanna say I'm grateful. Oh, yes, I'm thankful. I'm growing, yes, I'm flowing like a river, and I'm not going to stop. I'm a giver, receiving my lessons, and I'm counting my blessings. I'm grateful, 'cause to walk the path of light is getting easy. Yeah, 'cause now I see it so clearly. You came into my life, and now I know that you've always been there. I'm grateful, 'cause to walk the path of light is getting easy. 'Cause now I see it so clearly. Yeah, yeah, you came into my life, and now I know that you've always been there. Now I just wanna say, just want to say that I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I just wanna say, just want to say that I love you, babe. Oh yeah, yes, I just wanna say, just wanna say that I love you, baby. That goes for all of you. Yes, I just wanna say. I love you, Teresa Collins. I love you, Just Magic. I love you, Ixchel. And Petey Pete. I love you, Brother Scott. I love everybody on this call and everybody who's tuning in. And just if you could just put your hand on your heart and just say, ooh, I love you. Just give some of that to yourself real quick. Come on. Just want to say that I love you. Yes, I just want to say. Just want to say that I love you. You're doing a good job in this crazy time on planet Earth. I just want to say that I love you. That's all. I just want to say. I'm grateful.
We love you, Brother Elijah Ray. That's just so gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, family.
So much. Amazing. Just amazing. And he's going to be back with more music and a presentation. We're going to get to hear him speak words. Thank you, Elijah Ray. Thank you so much.
What a concept, huh?
Yeah, what a concept.
Words.
Elijah Ray, naked, no guitar, no keyboards. It's really, thank you so much. That's gorgeous. And our audience is going nuts over it. Hey, I want to, I get to share with all of you that we're really always kind of growing the show and trying new things. And so I'm going to show a promo video for one of our upcoming shows, all about our love of animals and an opportunity for all of you to participate. So here's a wonderful video put together by our beloveds, Jay and Jan. That's right. So in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks actually, March 13th, it's all about animals. Yeah, it's going to be your turn, buddy. You're going to be the star. That was his sister that you saw running in the video. And so we want to get your pictures. Tell us all about your animals. And it can be dogs, cats, hamsters, rabbits, horses, goldfish. We want to see photos of your animals with their names. And we're going to put together a really fun video montage. So, and send those to Laura@globalpeacetribe.com. Laura@globalpeacetribe.com. And thank you, Jan, and thank you, Jay, for putting together that fun video. And we've got some other, later on in the show, fun videos that they put together promoting our upcoming shows. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. A really cool thing to do is to support Global Coherence and the Pulse. This show began as a fundraising event for our dear friend Fantuzzi. And it was just like this little local Bay Area fundraiser that was going to be live. And then we went online and it grew and it grew and it grew. And here we've got presenters tonight, presenters from Puerto Rico. We got Jerry in Puerto Rico. We've got our friends in Bali. We've got people all over the United States. And those are our presenters. And you, the audience, are all over the world. It's really, really cool. And we love supporting our tribe, supporting our family. And so it's really important for us to support ventures like the Global Coherence. And so I want to show you a video. But before I do that, here is a way that you can support. And there are organizations that we're supporting today. We always have or almost always have a nonprofit organization that we support. And it's Global Coherence. So while you're watching the video, maybe while you're listening to some music or listening to me talk, go ahead and donate. Go to globalcoherencepulse.org and you can donate. And guess what? Just today, they received a $5,000 matching grant. So my goal is for us to raise $5,000 from our Saturday Night Alive tribe tonight to help match that goal. Now, anything is valuable. $5, $10, $25. We appreciate anything that you feel inspired to donate. So, so watch the video, learn a little bit more about Global Coherence, and go donate. Here we go.
This is the human heart. Central to our physical body, our survival, revered by poets throughout history as the emotional center of our being. The place we instinctively touch when asked to point to ourselves. And now, what we have known intuitively is being understood scientifically. Researchers are unlocking a new science of the heart that could change everything we know about health and our interconnected nature. Coherence is a state of balance between heart, mind, and emotions, creating a favorable cascade of neural, hormonal, and biochemical events that benefit the entire body. But this phenomenon not only benefits us personally, it affects everything around us, emitting an electromagnetic field that can be measured up to 3 feet outside of the body. When you are in coherence, your heart resonates at the same frequency as the Earth's magnetic field. This frequency positively affects everything around you. When a group of people are in coherence together, this effect is magnified. Could communities synchronized in coherence lower violence, accelerate cooperation, and global harmony? This is the purpose of the Global Coherence Pulse. If we can measure the impact of thousands of people in coherence at the same time, it could lead to a breakthrough in understanding the full potential of the human heart. All you need to participate is your presence and your heart. To take it to the next level, join the research study by downloading the app and getting an HRV monitor to measure your personal coherence. The world needs it more than ever before. Each human heart is unique and magnificent by itself. But imagine what could be possible when we unify.
What a gorgeous video. That is just beautiful. Thank you so much, Teresa. And just want to remind everybody that it takes a lot to run an organization like this, to move something like this, to create the conferences and the events, to create videos like that, and to really help bring us all together. And that's what we're doing. We're all coming together. We're the Global Peace Tribe. We're creating global coherence. So let's all support Teresa, what she's doing. And throughout tonight, you're going to learn, not only see some of her favorite speakers and presenters, but you're going to learn more about what she's doing, including a really exciting project that Saturday Night Live is going to be very involved in, my Love Coach Academy is going to be involved in, and hopefully all of you are going to be involved in. So this is called foreshadowing. It's a theatrical technique. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Teresa. There you go. You're still muted, Teresa.
Look at my really, like I'm like a little fragmented here. I love this. This is great. Yeah, thank you all for considering making a little donation to the Global Coherence Pulse. We've done it as a labor of love, and it's nice to get a little bit of energy from the community. I think it's really important that, like, as we choose to have where we put our attention and what we put our energy to and what we invest in, things that are empowering us to drop in deeper, to cultivate more coherence in our life. It's good for us to contribute to those things. And when everybody gives a little, then we can have a lot. So I appreciate any resources that you give. We had a Heart Math donated $1,000 towards the matching grant. So that was really exciting and wonderful opportunity. I want to acknowledge my partners in this, Claudia Wells, who also works with IONS and the Global Coherence Initiative. We're partnering with HeartMath. Roland McCready is one of the co-founders. And it's been an initiative with lots of different partners coming in and participating every month in pulsing the planet with more love. So let's do that right now in anticipation of welcoming in my friend Gregg Braeden, and maybe you can bring him on screen. because Gregg was our guest speaker today for the Pulse. Gregg, thank you so much for your beautiful presence and what you shared today. It was powerful. You gave people a real idea of the potency of what we're doing when we actually pause and come into connection with our natural state of heart-centered coherence. So thank you. I love you. I'm not going to share your credentials because you've already been introduced, but I just want to say one thing is that you are one of the most elegant and gracious men that I've ever met, consistently, always. And I love your courage, and I love what you're sharing right now, and I love how you're sharing it, because we can take it in with our hearts wide open, and we need to hear more, Gregg, right now. I love you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. I love you too. Scott, brother, what a beautiful, beautiful job you have done tonight. Whoever your team is that put together this panel, it couldn't be more perfect. And, we don't rehearse these things. And it's interesting because when we're asked to speak, me as a speaker, when I'm asked to speak, I know what I am choosing to say in that moment. And by the time you get to me, so many people have already said what I wanted to say. And that tells me that we are even more connected than we have even suspected in the past. And I appreciate it very much. So I'm honored to be here tonight. I'm really honored to share this virtual stage with so many of my dear brothers and sisters, some that I've known for over 30 years. And I want to welcome everyone in the world, everyone in this planet. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your evening with us, for inviting us into your homes, into your living rooms, or wherever you are, where you're watching this broadcast. There's so much that I would like to say. I just want to make sure I'm going to set my timer. So much that I would like to say, but I want to speak directly to this question that you've asked, Teresa, because it's a really good question. And I'm going to restate the question. How do we awaken our potential together? When I have asked this question to other people, it often is interpreted as, how do we do this simultaneously? And I think biology tells us that it probably does not happen simultaneously. We are learning together and awakening in the presence of one another. But on this planet, we're in a big relationship. We're in a big marriage on this planet. And just like any marriage, it's rare for all partners to excel at exactly the same rate and time. It's rare for all partners to find new paths to explore at the same time. And I think this is where we find ourselves today. We are in this together. We are awakening together, but it's not a simultaneous awakening. And I think this is really a really important nuance, because as we begin to awaken, I think it's important for us to be really kind to ourselves in the awakening process, because often it is the result of the breakdown of belief systems that have served us for our entire lives. And I think we're all feeling that our belief systems are being pushed to the very edge of who we believe we are. Our belief systems are being tested. And the ones that are based upon true and honest and factual information, those belief systems are sustaining us. And the ones that are based upon the false assumptions of obsolete science and the programming of our past from a story that no longer fits, those are the belief systems that are falling away. And it can be a really frightening experience when the things that we have once held to be true in our lives suddenly are no longer true. And this is where the science, I think, is so important, because we've asked science to tell us who we are in the world, and science has done a really good job. The information that science is sharing is being cherry-picked, because some scientists don't like the answers that the science is revealing. So as we awaken together, and as we learn to be kind to ourselves, I think it's really, really important to be kind to one another, because not everyone is going to awaken in the same way. Not everyone is going to embrace the same belief systems in the same way. And yet here we are together in this world, creating a new world and finding our way, navigating our way through these breakdowns and the buckling of belief systems and the breakdowns together. So I'm just going to encapsulate very, very quickly. This is probably the briefest program I've ever offered. I'm going to encapsulate what the new story, the new scientific story is saying to us. And I am speaking quickly because I'd like to lead us through a process that embraces what the science is now telling us. We are all the product of programming, and I think we all know that. This is the largest deprogramming exercise that the planet has ever seen. We are breaking out of an old program of fear and limitation. We have been taught that the universe is a dead universe. We've been taught that we live in a dead universe that is inert, and that we're the product of lucky biology and random processes separate from one another, with very little power to influence what happens within our bodies, let alone the world around us. That's the old story. And it's that story that much of the world is trying to embrace the changes that we're seeing. They're trying to embrace it through that old story. There is a beautiful, powerful new story that's emerging. And I'm going to say this quickly. What the best science of the modern world now is telling us is that we are the product of a living universe. It is alive, it is conscious, it is intelligent, where we would expect to find abundant life. We're not alone. And that life may not be in the forms that we expect it to be in. But this is what the science is telling us. The science is telling us that we, as what are called anatomically modern humans, we showed up on this planet 200,000 years ago, just as we are today. The DNA that is pulled from the fossilized remains of the beings that we used to think were our ancestors. We compare that DNA to us today, what we see is that we did not descend from those primitive forms of life. We showed up fully enabled, fully intact, the same body proportions and the same capabilities, the same neural network that we have right now. How that happened is another conversation. But this is what the science is telling us. And what that means is that we are made to adapt and thrive, not just survive, but we're made to adapt and thrive in the presence of the world that we find ourselves in. Dr. Bullard, I'm so happy that you went before I did, because you stated so eloquently something that I want to touch on, and it's going to lead us right into where we want to go. There's an emerging philosophy based upon rock solid science. And I want to share this philosophy with everyone listening. I want you to think about this. The philosophy suggests, the scientific philosophy, that consciousness informs itself through its creations. Consciousness informs itself through the things that it creates. What that suggests, we are consciousness. It suggests that the things that we create are our way of reminding ourselves of something about ourselves in the time that we need that something. So our art, our music, it can be entertaining, but it may be much more than that. It may be us reminding ourselves of what's possible through our paintings and our drawings and our music and our language, through our poetry that we're going to hear tonight. Think about this. If this principle applies, it applies to technology. It means that this technologically advanced world that we're building outside of our bodies is reminding us of who we are inside of our bodies. In the pre-show, we talked about this a little bit. And what I want you all to know, I am a scientist, and as a scientist, having worked in the high-tech world, I've seen some amazing technology, and to this day, I have yet to see technology built in the world out there that does not mimic what you and I already do in here. In the cells of our body, every cell of our body is a capacitor, it's a resistor, it stores information. We are photon emitters, photon generators, photon receivers. Every cell in our body is 0.07 volts of electrical potential. We've got about 50 trillion cells. I'll do the math for you. That's 1.5 trillion volts of electrical potential that we regulate through thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, focus, and breath, the core of our most ancient and cherished spiritual traditions. And this is where the work of Dr. Bullard and myself parallels in many respects, because we have spent much of our adult lives exploring the indigenous traditions that remain today and the ancient wisdom left from the past that helped us to embrace this ability to self-regulate in a way that science, the new science now, is only arriving at many of these understandings. So what I'd like to do, the understandings of everything that we're talking about, self-regulation, the master switch for this self-regulation begins in the human heart. I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you something. I want to show you what the best science. Can you all see me and see the screen as well? This is brand new. In 1991, scientists discovered about 40,000 specialized cells in the human heart, sensory neurites. They're essentially like the neurons in the cranial brain, but they're in the heart. They think independently of the brain. They feel, they remember, they sense independently of the cranial brain. And when we use our heart to create the coherence in the world around us, it's these neurons that we are harmonizing with our brain. Now, for many people, it sounds like a metaphor. It sounds academic. It sounds like make-believe or somebody's theory. So I want to show you, this is a new scan of the human heart, and where the yellow is right there, those are actually, you're actually seeing the sensory neurites. You're seeing the neurons in the heart that we're going to access in just a moment. All right, look at where they're located, precisely where the blood enters the heart, where the blood leaves the heart, precisely where we have feelings about our relationship to the world. And those feelings regulate the way that blood is moving. Those feelings regulate how we function and the signals that we send to the rest of our bodies. So I want you to see that this is something, it's real. It's not a metaphor, it's not make-believe. Now the science is also telling us there's a field that connects all things. A lot of people, when they talk about that field, they take their arm and they go like this, there's a field out there. What I want you to know is that we are that field. Every atom in your body in this moment, in my body, we're in this together. Every atom is emerging and collapsing from that field. So we are in a living universe, conscious and intelligent, and we are made through these neurons to communicate with this field. It is a field of intelligence. The reason I'm sharing this with you now is because our world is changing and we are inundated with information, misinformation, disinformation, well-intentioned information that we don't know what to do with. And we all have to ask the question of ourselves, what's true for us? The way our ancestors have always invited us to answer that question is to be able to access our heart intelligence. And I'd like us to do this together tonight. I think this is the most powerful gift I can give to you in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I don't know what's going to happen in our world, and I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen in my life the minute I leave this broadcast. But what I do know is this. Regardless of what the world shows me out there, I always have a source of truth that I can access to help me to respond in a healthy way to what's happening in the world. And I think we are all being asked to do this for ourselves. So what I'm going to invite you to do, we're going to go through a little process. And I'm going to invite you to communicate with these neurons in your heart that are linked to the field of intelligence that connects us all right now. There is coherence that's involved. We did coherence earlier in the day, and I didn't want to be redundant. So we're doing something just a little bit different here. I'm going to lead you through a process of focus and of breath. And when we communicate with our heart, there's a protocol. We begin with the words, my heart. So there's no ambiguity in the body as to where this information is coming from. And we use brief, concise phrases or maybe one sentence when we ask the question. We don't need a preamble. You don't have to have an introduction to your heart. Your heart has probably known you for a long time. So we don't need to tell our hearts all of the circumstances. We can go directly to the question. And when you receive an answer from your heart, it typically comes before you even finish asking the question. The question is the formality because it's already in your consciousness. So I'm going to invite you to ask a question that I will lead you through, maybe two questions. And I think this is the best way that I can honor you with the time that I have with you tonight. So if you are listening to this broadcast and you are driving a vehicle or operating heavy machinery, please do not do this process. Please be in a place that is safe, where you can focus your energy and your attention on what we're doing together right now. Scott, I'm going to bring up a little music on my end, and I'll bring it down. You let me know. Are you hearing this okay on your end?
We're hearing it. It's light. It's light, but we can hear it.
I can bring that up just a little bit. I'm going to be speaking over it. Is that okay?
Perfect balance.
All right. If you've not done so already, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and allow your awareness to move from your thinking mind into those neurons of the feeling heart. And I'm doing the same thing right here. And I'm going to invite you to shift your awareness from your mind to your heart by gently touching your heart center in a way that's comfortable for you. Our indigenous traditions have many ways that they do this, in prayer position, prayer mudra, an open palm, a couple of fingers. Your awareness will always go to the place where you feel that touch in your body. And the second step is I'm going to invite you to slow your breathing just a little bit slower than you would typically breathe, with a longer exhale than the inhale, to signal to your body that you are safe. When your body feels that you're safe, it's like a switch that sets an entire chemistry into motion of healing and regeneration, rejuvenation, and it's the doorway to the question. So let's do this together. First breath, inhale. And release. One more time, inhale. Just feel that shift in your body. And release. One more time, inhale. And release. And through your breath, you're initiating the language with no words that says to your heart and your body, I am safe. And this is what opens the door to the direct communication with those neurons in the field of intelligence. So I'm going to invite you, if it feels appropriate, to ask your heart a question and begin with the words, my heart. My heart, what do you want me to know right now? My heart, what do you want me to know right now? And that answer should come to you very, very quickly. Just make a mental note of that answer. And second question, my heart, what do you need from me right now? My heart, what do you need from me right now? And as you breathe into those answers, I'll invite you just to make a mental note of what has come to you. And if you gently begin to open your eyes and become aware of the space where you find yourself right now. And I know this was very quick, but what I want to say to you, I do this all the time, every day of my life, in a phone call, when I get an email, when I see something come to me that's inviting me to do something out of the ordinary, something I wouldn't typically do. Is it right for me? Your mind will go through the ego loops of right, wrong, good, bad, success, failure, worth, not worth. Your heart is a non-polarity organ, and that's why you can trust the wisdom of your heart. And with that, I'm going to bring this part of my evening to a close. But I think this is the key, because we don't know precisely what will happen in our lives. What we do know is that we always have a source of wisdom that we can trust to help us to navigate the current of the world that's emerging before us. So thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Scott, for the time to share that.
Greg, please do tell us a little bit about these two events that are coming up in March, because people, they're going to want more of you. So
I didn't know we were going to do this. So this is okay. Well, I just don't want to inundate people with too much Greg.
There can never be too much Greg. There can never be too much Elijah Ray.
I don't know this. So this is produced by the Institute of Heart Math. They typically do a physical retreat in the Mexican Riviera. This year, because of COVID, we are doing it virtually, and I was honored to be invited as a special guest. Roland McCready is the lead research scientist. Howard Martin, Dr. Deborah Rosman are two of the founders of Heart Math, and Claudia Wells is represents ION. She's very active in the Global Coherence Initiative. She's a brilliant woman. She's a dear, dear friend, and I am honored to be sharing the stage with all of these people, where we're going to be offering the techniques and the tools and the science that is showing how the techniques of heart-brain coherence are being measured so that we can know when they're effective in our communities, in our nations, on our planet. And by knowing that, we know more of what to do and what works, and we can stop doing the things that don't work any longer.
And because we're in such a time of abundance, even more, Greg, one more.
What is this one?
What we're going to be doing with Foster Gamble.
Oh, okay. So this is March 20. These are both on the same day. March 27th is this event where I am in deep conversation with Kimberly and Foster Gamble. We're going to be touching on a really delicate topic, and this is why we wanted to give it the time it deserves. We're going to be talking about body sovereignty. It's up for all of us right now, about our relationship to our bodies, the power that we have within our bodies to self-regulate our immune system, our longevity, enzymes, our resilience, our healing, our longevity, our rejuvenation, our regeneration, all of those things with the best science and the new discoveries that simply aren't being shared in the mainstream. So I'm very much it's a big day for me. I'm looking forward to both of those presentations. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about those a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg, so much for that beautiful moment to kind of drop in and ask our heart. I wondered, what did your heart say to you? I felt you so deeply in that moment.
Are you asking me what my heart said?
Yeah.
I'll be very honest with you all, because it's very present with me right now. Many of you know I lost my mom to COVID over the holidays. Oh. And when I have opened my heart, I have to work not to cry, because she feels I could do it anyway. She feels very present with me right now. And what my heart was saying was, let it in, let it in. So I'm letting in the love for my mom. And I know that is a very sad story, unfortunately, that many people on this broadcast have experienced as well. We're losing so many people, and it is the impact of that loss. I just want to say this. When I studied with the Tibetans, this was what got me through this experience with my mom. What the Tibetans tell us is the depth of our hurt teaches us our capacity to love. And we're all hurt. We're all in loss. We've lost a way of life. We've lost loved ones. And as we embrace that, rather than trying to move away from it, we have to find a deeper love to transcend that hurt. And this, I think, is a big part of how we awaken together, Teresa.
Greg, I'm so happy that you shared that. I actually was feeling your mom. I was actually feeling your mom today. And I want to know what you got what does your heart need? What does Gregg Braeden's heart need right now?
What does my heart need? Well, when I asked that question, so this is meaningful for me. It said it needs me. So I have filled my life with things that have become diversions from the hurt of my loss. And I think this is what my heart was. I'm in this with you all. I mean, every time I do this,
Yeah.
I get a very real answer. And that's something for me to be very present with tonight. So thank you for your care and for
Yeah.
asking, Teresa. It means a lot.
You know, I would love for us just to take 1 minute. And if you could tell us what your mother's name was, and for us all just to send appreciation to her for giving birth to you and raising you in whatever way she did that you turned out the way you did.
My little 4 foot 11-inch tall mama, her name was Sylvia. Sylvia Lee is her name.
So,
Yeah, and you know, she
yeah.
passed unexpectedly quickly. I was not allowed to be with her because of COVID, and I was not allowed to be with her after she passed because of COVID. So that's I know that many people are experiencing that, and it makes for a difficult passage. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Let's all just touch into the places where, like I just saw, you know, Matia kind of brought us to that place, and here we are. You asked what our hearts need, Gregg, and our hearts actually we need to kind of heal. We need to feel. We need to let it all in order for our brilliance to rise. We need to be present to our pain and all of that. It's all one thing. So I just want to. Maybe we can just all take a moment to close our eyes and just be present to the loss as well as the rising, and let it all be right here with us right now. Bless all the people that we've lost and all that we're learning from this challenging and potentiated moment. Just bless it all. I think if we're going to awaken to our vast potential together, we have to be actually really present in the center of our own sweethearts together, and yeah, really let it in.
Thank you for that, Teresa.
I love you so much, Gregg. I just can't say it enough. I hope that we can be dancing or playing and doing more together soon. Thank you for being with us.
You're very welcome. I look forward to that, and it's an honor to be with this beautiful family, this global community that we have here tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm going to turn this over to the beautiful women in Bali for bring up their camera, and Jenna Lee and Jess Magic, two beautiful sisters. I love that you guys are in Bali, and we can feel your sunshine and your radiance. And I know this is the perfect moment to hand this community into your arms, Mama Jess and Jenna. It really is. Yeah. Just want to really honor that.
I'm really touched right now because yesterday, Jenna and I got together and asked what was the perfect thing to bring through following Gregg. And obviously we had no idea what Gregg was going to be talking about, but this mashup came through that seemed to all be songs that honored the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And it felt like it was connected to the dying systems and this new world that's being born, and also to the beings. We chose to be here on this over singing gospel songs at a memorial service for a sister that we lost here in Bali. And so as Gregg was sharing, it just was like, I just had this moment of gratitude for that unified field and for the way the information traveled over as I tapped into Gregg and then what wanted to happen now. So as we share this remix mashup that just came through yesterday, we really dedicate this to those cycles of life and death and rebirth. And may this song offer a safe space for you all to feel, to sing along, to use your voice and our voices to regulate your nervous system and create a field of safety. And we're so grateful, Teresa, for you inviting us to be here and for the depth of this moment. Put your roots down, put your ear to the ground. You can hear what she says if you listen. Put your roots down, put your ear to the ground. You can hear what she says if you're listening. Sweet sound of the water as it moves across the stone. Same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? One black morning when this life is over, I fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. Fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away, just a few more weary days and then I fly away to a home where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. Oh, I fly away, oh glory, I fly away to a home where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I pray to the mother, I pray to the father, I pray for my sisters, I pray for my brothers, I pray to the mother, I pray to the father, I pray for our sons and I pray for our daughters, I pray to the mother, I pray to the father, I pray for the earth and I pray for the water. Pachamama, I'm coming home to the place where I belong. I wanna be free, so free, like a dolphin in the sea. I wanna fly high, so high, like an eagle in the sky. And when my time is done, oh, I'm gonna lay right down and die. Lay down, die. Put your roots down, put your ear to the ground. You can hear what she says if you're listening. Put your roots down, put your ear to the ground. You can hear what she says if you're listening. Sweet sound of the water as it moves across the stone. Same sound as the blood in your body as Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening?
Mm. Mm. Thank you so much. We're listening. We're listening so deep now. That's the point, right? Like we're starting to really listen so deep that we can hear the sound of our own heartbeat and our mother's heartbeat and our unique purpose. And we can really start shining and showing up for who we were born here to be. Love you, Mama Jess, and love you, Jenna. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Pete, behind the scenes, making some beautiful views of these ladies. Scott, I'm going to turn this over to you. I think we're at mid-show time.
Oh, what a beautiful show. Every piece, every presenter, the music is just so gorgeous and beautiful. And yes, thank you, Pete, for that great camera work. Boy, I wish we could have that all the time. Somebody going in on all those close-ups. Thank you. You know, a lot does go into these shows. And I want to just invite everybody. I think we all had a powerful experience with Gregg's practice. I know I did, and I saw a lot of the comments. So I'd love to suggest that if people feel so inspired to share any of the answers they got of what your heart had to say. You know, we love including all of you as much as we possibly can. So yeah, if you feel so inspired, please put into the chat box what your heart had to say during Gregg's process. And thank you, Gregg, for giving us the gift of that process and also the gift of your vulnerability. Thank you. I also want to take a moment just to acknowledge our dear friend Jerry Anderson. He's one of our panelists. He's one of our sponsors and producers, an important part of our family. I'm going to just briefly put the camera on him because Jerry also lost his mother very, very recently. And I saw you crying there, Jerry, during that moment. So I just want to acknowledge you as well. You know, we love you, and likewise grateful to your mother for bringing you into our world. Thank you so much. All right, we are going to, we want to thank all of our different sponsors. A lot of people go to make this happen. We want to thank our broadcast partners. I want to thank Unify. So many of you watch us. We end up getting anywhere from 15 to 20,000 views on Unify alone. So thank you, Unify, for carrying us every Saturday night. And for those of you watching on Unify or any of our other broadcast partners, you can still come into our Zoom room. We have a lot of show left, so you can still come on in. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and you can register. So thank you. I also want to thank Portal to Ascension, Global Days of Unity, Love Coach Academy, Earthwalk United, so many amazing broadcast partners. And probably the most important is Light Touch. Jay Mayer and Light Touch are a very important part of what makes this show tick. And to honor Jay and Light Touch, we've got a little special video for you. Light Touch is a wonderful way to bring both emotional and physical intimacy into our relationships. Light touch is also a wonderful way for us to attract or magnetize what we are wanting.
Thank you for blessing our blessings. Thank you for spiritual wellness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for transforming my relationships. Thank you for the most divine relationships.
So let's all remember to practice light touch. And for those of you who are interested in practicing more light touch, just go to light-touch.me, fill out the little survey form. And also several of us get together every morning at 8:30 and we do prayers together. We do light touch together. It's just a wonderful way to wake up the senses and start the day. So if you're interested in that, again, go to lighttouch.me and come join our group. And thank you, Jan. Thank you, Jay. Thank you very, very much. And again, want to thank also, a couple of other broadcast partners that I didn't mention just now. Alan Steinfeld and New Realities. Alan helped put together our show with Mark Sims a couple of weeks ago. We're always going to work with Alan, just like we work with Teresa once every 3 months. We do a lot of regular collaborations, and Alan is one of our favorite people to collaborate with. Also want to thank the Disclosure Fest Foundation, Earth Dance Global, and Humanities Team. And finally, the Sign Network. Hundreds of people, groups, and organizations watching us on the Sign Network. So thank you, Joy and Summer Raymer. Thank you, John Raymer. You guys are great, and we really appreciate the collaboration. Finally, I want to thank those of you that have been donating to Global Coherence. And I'm going to just bring that up one more time because you can still, this is a good time to go in there and donate. Go to globalcoherencepulse.org/donate. And I know a lot of you already have. Thank you so much. Let's keep this wonderful movement going. So thank you so much. And now, one last thing I'm going to do, and then I'll turn it over to my partner, Deborah. We have another video to show for next week's show. And again, Jay is the person, Jay and Jan put these videos together, and they're really a lot of fun. So this is all about what we're going to be doing next week, and it's going to be pretty cool.
Light Touch welcomes you to next week's Saturday Night Alive. Best tools and practices for optimizing our health. Featuring an all-star cast, including a recorded message from Deepak Chopra. Tree of Life founder, Dr. and Rabbi Gabriel Cousins from Israel. The father of holistic medicine, Dr. Norm Healy. And integrative medicine expert, Dr. Hyla Cass. Energy and Qigong master, Lee Holden. Ashana and Dana with Clarity Breathworks. Also featuring musician Yuval Ron, Andrea Brooke, the Sonic Butterfly, and all the way from Malaysia, magician Andrew Lee. And from Miami, international performing artist Giselle World.
So please make sure you join us again next Saturday night. Tell all your friends about it. Each show we do is so powerful, so wonderful. And probably the most important person to make these shows happen is my producing partner, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you, everyone. This has been such an incredible show. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, all the presenters. And yes, we're going to have an amazing show next week. Thank you, Jay and Jan with Light Touch, for helping to sponsor best tools and practices for optimizing our health. And I'd like to share with you the shows that we're going to have in March. I'm so excited about our March 6th show, Feminine Leadership Changing Our World. Isn't that happening now? We're going to have some really incredible powerhouses, Jean Houston, Rian Eisler, Claire Zamet, Kaya Ra, musician Jennifer Barazon, and we will have Andrew Harvey as our sacred masculine to honor the feminine coming out now and really changing our world. On March 13th, as we showed in the video before, we're going to have understanding and communicating with our animal family. We're having Carol Bassett from Tiger King show, which is going to be great. Light Touch is going to be sponsoring that again, and a lot of other animal communicators. It's going to be an incredible, heartwarming show to honor our animal family. March 20th, we always celebrate the spring equinox portal. We're going to have a lot of great presenters to really activate a new positive timeline that we are creating in our new world. And March 27th, one of our more popular shows, again brought to us by Light Touch, is going to be about Indigenous wisdom, featuring a lot of incredible Indigenous leaders from all around the world. So you can still sign up for our winter season. If you haven't already, I will post that in the chat room. And we also have an opportunity where you can gift this show to other people in your world that may not know about it. You can actually pay it forward and give all this light and love. So I'm going to post that link in the chat room as well. It will say pay it forward. And we are working on season 5, Time to Thrive. So we have been cooking on that with our team and have some really great new topics and some of our favorite keynote presenters coming back again. We also have another week or so that we're going to be working on that. We have a survey that you can fill out if you have some additional suggestions. So I'm going to post that in the chat room as well, because this is really a co-creative experience with all of us tuning into what is the highest that we can work with and move forward for these incredible times right now. So thank you so much. Thank you for your donations. And one more thank you is to Wendy Grace, who has sponsored many shows in the past, and she is sponsoring this show tonight to allow us to bring you this quality that we are now of this show. And actually, Teresa, I think it's time to bring Wendy on. So I think you're about ready to introduce her. And much love to you, Wendy.
Thank you. I'm so grateful that we have Miss Gwendolyn Grace on tonight. She is, she's actually my housemate, except for we don't live in the same state right now. She's been in Maui since the lockdown, and I've been in California. So we actually haven't been able to hug each other for, gosh, almost a year. It's been so strange to have that, but we get to connect. And Wendy, I'm so glad that you're here and that you get to bring your voice into this space. And you know, Wendy has been one of those people who has always kind of supported things that kind of needed that little lift off, that weren't quite the mainstream, right? They weren't being supported by the mainstream because they were part of the new story and the new world. And her poetry and her expression really reflect that. Like, she's really bringing forth a new world with all that she chooses to do. And so Wendy, my sister, my love, I'm so glad that you're on the call today, and I'm looking forward for you to share some of your mother energy with the group tonight. And I miss you.
Oh, I miss you too. I miss California. Oh.
Yeah.
California weighs on my heart. You know, all she's going through.
I just want to say something too, just listening, like reading through the chat and seeing what people's hearts said to them. Like it, like,
yes.
It's like spend time tonight. Like, it's so beautiful. That's really how we awaken our vast potential together, is to listen to what our heart has to say and what our heart needs. And I know that's really what you're going to bring to us too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say my heart said that I am safe and that I needed to be more gentle with my heart. Mm-hmm. When I'm sometimes living inside me is like living on a stormy sea, and I have to be more gentle with each wind. And so I'd like to share these words that I received a while ago, but they're the words that really lift me when I really need them and when I need lifting. And it's called Hold Me, Mother. For me, the mother is the vibration, the presence that's right at the source of life from which we all come. And when I first felt something that I call the mother. I've never forgotten that moment in a dream. But it lifted me. It felt like the softest veils. And I called her the mother. I called her Mary then, but now I say the mother, the divine feminine. So I offer this for our hearts, for our heart pain, and for the joy that can come later as we spiral into our healing, especially when we spiral together. Hold me, Mother, in your sweetness. Wash me, Mother, with your prayer. Nurture me within your loving. Hold me in your pure desire. Holy Mother, I am so grateful. Devotion is unveiling me to tastes exquisite of your presence. This hurting world so wants to see. Holy Mother, it's you I serve. Awake in you, I bow with ease. Make my life a living altar to the offspring of your peace. Oh, blessed eagle, blessed condor, fly together in the sky, unveiling now a path of union opening within your love. Wash me, Mother, with your loving. Hold me, Mother, in my prayers. The earth will flourish understanding your love. Your love, Ma, Mother, holds answers for our cares. Holy Mother, I'm so grateful. You are unveiling me to taste exquisite of your presence with you, with you, with you. I'll always be. Oh. Holy Mother of all life, of all consciousness, of us, our hearts.
Thank you, Wendy. We need more Wendy. Don't we need more? We needed more Pete, and we need more Gregg. We need more Wendy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that tonight. We seem to kind of go into the state where we like really feel the possibility and the potential, and we're rising up, and we also return back to that place where the breaking down is happening and the breaking open is happening, and the places where we're really just like letting the nectar of love kind of heal our souls and really kind of nourish us. And I just love that we're doing that. Yeah. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much. Well, oh gosh, Elijah, Ray, we're going to place everyone with how they're feeling right now into your arms. Just place them right into the arms of Mr. Elijah Ray. And I'll just say really just a simple thing that, you know, as I said in the opening, there's certain people in my life where I just feel like they're the new thought leaders of our time, and many of them are our heartists. Many of them are our musicians who have been kind of behind the guitars and the voices and all of that, and I really feel like the poetry that Wendy just read and like the things that you might say, really important that we start hearing from our heartists to bring the new story through. So Elijah, you know I love you so completely, and I welcome your wisdom and your genius and your love into this circle right now.
Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. I love you too, and I just want to thank Wendy for that exquisite heart-centered transmission, and to my brother Gregg. I feel like a lot of us have had some tears flowing today, so I just want to honor and acknowledge everyone's hearts in this space. It's so rich and so deeply felt. And that's what this is about. That's what this moment is about actually feeling our way through the healing. You know, we've all realized now there's no going around it, right? There's no going around our own personal growth and transformation. It's the only way is through, and to heal it, we have to feel it, which means to peel it back and to open it up and to allow ourselves to be held by this vast love, this field that we're in together. And so I just want to start by saying I am so grateful to be here. And by here, I mean truly here in my body, in my blood. Could you put your hands on your body? Those of you who are out there staring at your computer screens right now, just put some hands on your body and just give thanks for this vessel, this exquisite biology, this instrument of perfection that is carrying you around like a mothership through space and time, and somehow through our mind and this beating heart creating this electromagnetic spherical field, we're able to navigate consciousness, awareness together. What a miracle it is. Let us not fall asleep, you guys, to the miracle of the fact that we landed bodies. We got the best seats in the house right now. It's almost like, you know, the front row at, you know, when you're at the stadium and you get like the box seats and they're like, oh, we got the best seats. We got the best seats, you guys. We got the bodies. So we're in here, right? Our whole galactic family is out here watching going, all right, I wonder what they're going to do. They better use these bodies well because they got the best seats in the house. So because we know that, because we are so grateful to share in this physicalized, embodied experience, that means it's time for us to step down from the high horse of our minds alone and the concepts and the wonderful floaty words and all the exquisite teachings that we've memorized, and we know how to say them, and we know how to show up and say, namaste, brother, namaste, sister, yeah, and we can eye gaze. But then what happens when our mother passes away? What happens when we can't pay the rent? What happens when our sister is going through a heartbreak, or when we find out that child trafficking is happening in our own backyard? What then? That's where the rubber hits the road, as we say. That's where we have an opportunity to actually now live into what's called behavioral intelligence. And this is what I want to present to all of you today, is our next frontier as a community, right? I'm not just going to say a spiritual community. I'm just going to say community. Let's demystify this thing and let's get into these bodies and let's get real that we are a community. We are a tribe. You know, many of us have been without power these last few days, you know, all over the States, and even out here in Kauai, we got hit so hard with storms that I now live in a lake. So I'm on a lakefront property. And so it just brings to bear these moments when we're truly humbled, that we get to take a look around and see what's real. And I think I can boldly present that I don't feel I am alone in saying we've all been humbled this year quite a bit, have we not? We've all been very humbled. And so I just want to say that it's an honor to be here and to be able to speak. And like Scott said, I know it was a little bit campy humor, like, oh, Elijah Ray's going to actually use some words today. And because I'm usually that guy who's, you know, shows up and sings and makes people smile and feel good. And that worked for a while. I did that a pretty good solid 20 years now. I've been in this thing, just showing up and singing and sharing frequency and song and cohering and banding together communities and contributing what I can into the growth of our global family. But that season is over. It's time to go a little bit deeper now. And so I really want to appreciate you, specifically, Teresa, for inviting me into this gathering of noble hearts and beautiful masters here to be able to speak and share a little bit from my heart as well. It's truly an honor. So my name is Elijah Ray. For those of you I have not met, I'm a recording artist. I'm a singer and a presenter. I like to call myself a sonic alchemist because that's really what it is. You know, when I get here in the lab, I like to create alchemy through sound and connection. And I'm also a teacher, you know, so I run multiple courses and master classes over the years. I've been able to hold hundreds and hundreds of, maybe thousands of amazing people through opening their voices and coming more into what we would call authentic expression. And so in the name of all of that, what I'd like to share today is really more of an invitation to all of you to really start using your voice. And I actually just want to get real time right now. Even as I'm talking and I'm speaking, you can do something really simple for yourself to answer this question that we're all exploring today. And I'm going to repeat that question, which is, how do we awaken our vast potential? Well, the first thing you can do right now is the thing that every baby does when they're born. What happens? You come out of the womb and you start the awakening process and you go, ah, and you make a sound, right? So I want to invite all of you to make a sound. It can be a very gentle sound if you like, or it could be a big sound. It's up to you. But I'll keep talking and you start humming. Locate yourself in your heart center with this sound. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about other people out there. Don't worry about what masters and gurus have told you in the past. Locate yourself right here in your experience by making a sound. You can call that sound home. Make a tone home. Now, if you would, once you run out of breath, you notice you got to take a breath, go ahead and keep that sound going. Make another sound. Move that sound up or maybe down and see if you can really, truly locate yourself in your heart's center. Now, once you've located yourself, begin to orient yourself to your spherical environment while keeping this sound going. So in a way, it's almost like letting your soul take its seat on the throne of the center of your being, which is your heart. And using a sound to stabilize yourself in that position, begin to kind of take stock with what's happening in your spherical experience. Screen included, perhaps what's in the room around you, thoughts that might be flashing across your mind right now. Keep this sound going and see if you can tune, almost like having an inner mixer, and find some balance between your own sound and the sound of my voice as I keep speaking and making some sounds here. I'm going to go ahead and just tone along with you while you keep going with your toning. And we're going to go ahead and just tune up real quick here. We're going to do just a little mini spherical exploration. So big deep breath and keep that tone home flowing. Ready? Set. This is good. I feel you guys. So what we're doing right now is we're just tuning up by dropping into our own sphere through sound. But also you're hearing me sing along. So did you notice that it maybe you started to get distracted by what I was doing and you stopped listening to your own sound? Did anybody notice that? You started taking a back seat, didn't you? You're like, oh, okay, I get to listen now. I'm off the hook. No. That was last paradigm. That's the a rock star on stage with a mic or a speaker, and I'm over here, I'm just going to listen. No, that time is over. It's now time to participate and to co-create. So even if you don't have a microphone on, I want to invite you and just, I hope I'm making some of you a little uncomfortable right now, because I want to invite you to realize that when we say we're all in this together, this is not some fluffy words. This is not just a nice thing to say and then you're off the hook for the rest of the night. You can go watch Netflix now. No, we're all in this together, which means we are all being called to the front lines of the frequency embodiment mission. So if you're here and you're awake and you're alive and you know you have a role to play in bringing about a more beautiful world and in awakening your own vast potential and that of the whole planet, then I just want to refer to something our brother Gregg said, and I really appreciate you, Gregg, for bringing this up, that it's so important to remember that while we're all in this together, we're not going to all wake up and pop open our vast potential all at the same time. That's not how this thing works. It's very clear by now that there's many, many, many levels to this classroom, if you will, to this university. And so while there are those of us who are already kind of coexisting in 5D and starting to anchor, multidimensional awareness and stepping that down into words and songs so that we can share them in this 3D reality, there's also those who are just literally in kindergarten right now, learning about boundaries. We can all can we get a show of hands if you've been learning about boundaries in this lifetime? I'm right here with you. We've been in kindergarten. so there's those, on the multidimensional, scale who are just kind of watching us teaching our classes and doing our things. And they're like, yeah, you're still learning boundaries. Okay. Let's, we're almost there, guys. We're almost to first grade. And then once we get to first grade, then we can actually, start to explore what these other virtues of the heart look like. But the thing is, there's nothing I could ever teach you that you don't already know. That's what I think, to truly awaken our vast potential is to be truly sovereign, to actually enfold and implode, if you will, just like we did when we were making that sound, to kind of release this grip of needing this outer confirmation from a teacher, from a master or a rock star, or someone out there, somebody that looks great, online. And to actually start really listening and caring for this precious heart in this cage of ribs in here. This is your vehicle. This is your guide. This is your connection to the inner net, right? So something that I teach, in not only private one-on-one with clients and groups of people, is how to stabilize your sphere in the midst of chaos. And we do this through sound. So we do this by exploring what we call band of light technologies. And this is like working with sound and light through the harmonization of our spherical electromagnetic fields by opening our voice of power and accessing more subtle and adept ways to sing and speak and anchor truth, beauty, the virtues of the heart through our throat chakras by expanding the way that we experience this moment spherically, right? This is not a linear progression. This is a spherical progression. So the more we step into our spherical, notice that the word sphere has the word here in it. So to truly be here means to become spherically aware. So even as you're sitting here in your chair and you're listening to this crazy guy named Elijah Ray speaking, make one more tone home into your heart. Just a simple tone home. And this time as you tone, see if you can see the sound with your eyes closed or open. See if you can see the sound filling up and beginning to occupy every particle of the spherical field that you are. Ready, set, go. Did you start to feel your own sound filling up the space around you? And could you get a sense of the containment of that field and how by consciously occupying it with sound, you're now interacting and starting to reorganize the particles of the space around you to become occupied, right? Remember like Occupy Wall Street and all these movements of like, what about occupy your sphere? Let's start there, and then we can start to reclaim this planet and our rightful, stewardship of this realm from the parasites that are currently in power and banking. We can slowly regain coherence on this realm by occupying our own sphere. So this is what I teach. This is what I love to do. This is one of the most exciting movements for me is a very humble movement, if you will, which is really just about reclaiming sovereignty and understanding how to access the inherent capacities of this vehicle that we're in called the human body. So, once again, I just want to say that the answer to this question of how do we awaken our vast potential is likely going to be as unique as our fingerprint is, right, to each person. And yet there's going to be one thing that they all have in common. It's really, if we were to simplify it, would be to live a love-centered life, regardless of the external circumstances, to love God, the universe, our source, so much, to place that devotion at the core of our journey, that everything else starts to spiral and spin and organize around that. It's like in Wendy's poem, that beautiful sharing, how it invokes that love of the mother, invokes this, tears start to flow because we're like, that's the truth. I'm close to the truth now that I've heard that. I feel closer to the truth. Hearing my brother Gregg speak, hearing my sister Jess Magic sing from her heart, I feel closer to the truth. And when we get close to it, we often start then wanting to seek and kind of pad that experience by seeking for more people who are kind of speaking that. But I want to just challenge all of you on this call right here and right now to realize you are it. And to place your own personal spherical miracle and the occupying of your sphere through sound, through heart-centeredness, through coherent behaviors, there could be no greater work than this. Because how else could we actually contribute something to the field that is lasting and true and pure? And if we truly want our contributions to make an impact, they have to be coherent, right? And yet I will be the first to put myself right out there in the middle and say, I've been full of shit in the past. Quite literally. I've had to do 16 years of cleansing and, doing colon cleanses, parasite cleanses, all kinds of detox programs to even get to a point where I feel like my head is enough above water that I can speak from a place where all of my cells are included in my message. Where I can speak from a place where it's not just, some nice fluffy language, but an actually embodied experience that's coming to you live right now from Kauai. And so this is the core of my message, which is really to live a love-centered life. Any child can do that, right? Any dolphin knows the purpose of the universe. Any puppy dog or kitty cat understands the reason for being here. And yet we as guardians or gardeners of this good earth, it's time for us to really curl in. And I feel like this time has given us an opportunity to do that, right? This unplug, this reset. We could talk for days about all the shadow aspects of what's happening right now and what is out of alignment, out of service, and inharmonious. And we see it. We see it. We're shining the light on it. Let's just say the lights have been flipped on, and it's very clear what's not working. So in order to make a contribution and to find your seat at the great round table of consciousness right now, it's essential that you do the work for yourself now. Take good care of your heart. Really listen to it, just like we just did a few times. Toning into your heart a few times a day. I would say it's more powerful to me than almost any other spiritual practice I've dabbled in over the years. And if you just simply committed to making a few heart-centered tones before you got on that next call, before you make that big decision, before you step up to your relationship and tell them all the things that are wrong about them, if you were to just make a few heart-centered tones into yourself, into your heart, and occupy your sphere to the point where you can truly say, I'm here. Now let's begin, and let's see what kinds of harmonies we can create together. So from that place, I just want to share my deep love and appreciation for everybody. Thank you for, keeping your patience and your compassion alive and fanning the flames of your own care for yourself and those around you. Because like I said before, this is a vast university with many classrooms. And as our Uncle Gregg said, this awakening is not just going to all happen at the same time. So you might have popped through into another level, and you might notice that those around you are maybe not resonating with that level. Be compassionate. Instead of looking down on anyone, just say, wow, I now have access to something. Now that's giving me a new responsibility to find a way to ground into that, embody that, and now offer that as a coherent frequency contribution into the field around me. And so that's why, the great teachers and masters that I've seen, that I've followed, that I have been blessed by, speak very little. Because at the end of the day, those who speak do not know, and those who know do not speak. There's kind of, after a little while, you're just speechless, and all there is left to do is laugh and sing. So I meet you there, friends. I love you all. And thank you so much, Teresa, Scott, to everyone who invited me to join this beautiful, heartfelt gathering. Much, much love. And I want to lastly just say, for those of you, because I'm just getting a ping here from my team, I'm so grateful for my team because I forget the 3D matrix details. I am running a very small, intimate group process right now called the Masters Module. So if you're inspired to open up your voice to learn more about some of these concepts I've been exploring with you here, please go visit bandoflightexperience.com, and you can find the Masters module there and come join us on a module. It'll be an honor to work with you. So much love to you all.
Scott, you can go ahead and bring up Elijah's site just so people can see that. I'm Scotty in a different way, but that's great. I love that your team. Yeah, Elijah, I'm so excited about the different offerings that you're doing, and I really appreciate that you're kind of opening up your time and energy for people that are like really ready for what you have to give. And I think that that's an important part of us kind of claiming our home base, our Taurus, right? Our own thing. It's like, what's the current of my purpose right now? What can I be doing essentially? And that's what you were saying, right? So if whatever is essential, put your energy there. And I also appreciated this simple practice of toning home and creating that field around us, that when we are in those relationships where, maybe they haven't quite popped through, that there's really some desperation, there's some real pain happening. The best thing that we can do is actually to breathe and create that space around us and not say a word, but just bring that love through. And I really felt that in what you were saying and embodying. And I'm right there with you. Like, we're the ones right now being called to like really up our game.
Yes.
Like, no more just talking about it, but let's really get real, that if we can hold coherence in the face of whatever comes, then we'll help the wave of awakening that's coming. So, yes.
Thank you. So true. It's often listening that is the most needed contribution into the field. So thank you to all of you who are listening from a space of presence. That's I think a key distinction there. Sometimes you can tell the difference when someone's like listening to you tell your story, and they're like, yeah, and they're like scrolling in the background. The difference between that and actual like true presence is that we can meet there, and then all of a sudden we can almost like quantum leap into solutions that wouldn't have been available without that quality of presence. So thanks for saying that, Teresa. And I see a few people commenting here. The website is ElijahRayMusic.com and also bandoflightexperience.com. They both link to each other, so you can get either way. It's like a big figure 8. But you can learn more about my offerings there. And thanks again for having me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful website too. I am really excited about what you've done with it recently. It really has such a beautiful feel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, and stick around. So we're going to go, the next person that I'm going to lay you in the arms of is Ixchel Love, a beautiful friend of mine. She's one of the Bali sisters. Hello, Ixchel, so wonderful. And I felt like really important to bring Ixchel in. I feel like you represent that, like back to the tribal community in present moment time, right? Like how important it is that we actually dive deep into our roots of how we came together in ways that were really potent and aligned with life. And I always feel that in all of your sharings. It's just like you're right there with your hand holding the mother, you know, as you're guiding and the people that you support. So thank you for bringing your love and presence into the call today.
Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. Yeah, it feels so good to be sitting around this global tribal campfire. You know, we've been blessed to sit in so many real campfires together, and I'm just so honored to be a part of this conversation, awakening our vast potential together. And for me, the togetherness is the key word inside of this. You know, even before the quarantine, so many people were living in isolation. You know, and I bring the codes of Bali. My father comes from Bali, and this is the land of my ancestors. And here, living communally and tribally is just part of our way of life, as it is in so many other indigenous cultures. So this is really a big part of my purpose in life, is to bring community together. I've been living here in Bali for the past 15 years in community, and currently I'm creating a community, an eco-village in Costa Rica. And through my Lovevolution retreats, I've been traveling around the world, sharing these experiences of community through ceremonies. So, you know, in these communal experiences, we have the opportunity to see and taste what it feels like to awaken our vast potential together, to remove the masks that we might wear in other places in our life and drop into a deeper sense of intimacy, of connection, of truly seeing each other. And through this level of authenticity and vulnerability, we come to realize that we're actually all the same. You know, I've shared retreats in around 20 countries around the world, and no matter what culture, what age, what sex, people are going through the same things. And what I see people going through is that we're working with the core wounds of humanity, these beliefs that have created feelings of not being good enough, of not being worthy, and not being lovable. So as we're all dealing with these same core wounds, the question is, how do we show up for each other? How do we create those places where we do let people know that they're worthy, where we let people know that they are so lovable, that all parts of them are lovable? So this is what I'm really committed to in creating in these transformational containers. And it's so beautiful that we have containers like this where we can share tears, where we can feel that we're connected to people around the world, and we can hold each other's losses in our hearts. So thank you all for being here in this field of coherence. So I'm sure that many of us have had these experiences where we're on a call like this and we feel so connected, or we're at a transformational festival or a retreat or a ceremony where we feel that we're tapping into the quantum field of infinite potential through letting go of the illusions of time, through letting go of the illusions of separation, and through seeing each other through the eyes of love, through seeing ourselves through the eyes of love. And our hearts are feeling so expanded, and then we go home. And then suddenly there's this feeling of, wow, was that all a dream? Did that really happen? It felt so real. But suddenly I'm feeling disconnected again. I'm feeling isolated again. So what I'm really excited about is, how can we carry that forth? You know, I heard Gregg Braeden share about that. How can we carry forth that feeling of coherence into our lives? So I've been working with people in private sessions and integrating these transformational expansive experiences, primarily the ones that have come through working with plant medicine ceremonies. And now through the Living Wisdom, I'm creating these integration programs where we can take what we've experienced in these expanded states of transformational coherence community and carry that forward into our everyday life. So we're looking at how we can do that in a holistic perspective. So we're going to start with the mind. You know, I heard Gregg speak as well, and I think I heard Dr. Teresa speak as well about creating this new way of being really starts with our foundational belief systems. So in these programs, we begin to illuminate what our unconscious beliefs are, those things that are limiting us, those things that are holding us back that we might not even be aware of. And we do this by simply looking at what's not working in our lives. We might say that we really want to be in a relationship, but there's a belief there that I'm not safe to love and I'm not safe to open myself up, or I'm not safe to trust the masculine. So we look at what these unconscious beliefs are, and then how can we replace them with empowering beliefs. So in that situation, it might be, I am safe to be seen. I am safe to open my heart. I'm safe to let down the armor and the boundaries and the guard that I've had around my heart in order to protect myself from being hurt in a way that I was in the past. And, you know, what's really key as well is what Gregg shared in working with our breath and our nervous system. Because we can say 1,000 times, I'm safe to love and I'm safe to open my heart. But when we're working with that just on the mental level, we can be repeating that 1,000 times and we'll still have that guarding around our hearts. So we work a lot with the nervous system. Now, there's so many different ways that I work with people to reprogram limiting beliefs that I won't be able to share here. But one of the key ways is working with the nervous system. So we see where that trauma was created was a time that we didn't feel safe. And then the nervous system said, okay, I need to shut myself down right now. So we do a lot of somatic practices with the body, and just letting ourselves know that we're safe. Coming into situations with people where we might feel that edginess of not feeling safe to open ourselves, but then practicing, okay, I can let myself be seen right now. I can hold all parts of myself into being seen right now. And then we work with the heart. You know, the heart is really the key to allowing ourselves to tap into the awakening of our vast potential together. So in this situation, we might have experienced some kind of trauma in our lives where we might have felt rejected, we might have felt some shame, we might have rejected ourselves and not welcomed all aspects of who we are. So when this comes up, when we go back into our homes after we've experienced these expansive feelings of connection and coherence, then we can take care of our precious hearts. When there's a part of ourselves where maybe we want to kind of push it away, we can actually call it in and welcome it and say, you know what, like this anger and this rage is welcome right now. You know, I might have not felt safe to experience this before, but now I'm going to call it in, I'm going to welcome it, and I'm not going to judge myself for it. And the more that we let go of the judgment of ourselves, the more we can show up in that space of non-judgment for each other. And I truly feel that this is the essence of unconditional love, as we're creating a world that is led by love rather than fed by fear. The more that we can show up with non-judgment for ourselves and non-judgment for other people, then we can actually create that coherent field of love. And then, of course, we go to our bodies. You know, in order to integrate this into our lives, it has to be integrated into our bodies. So in Africa, the first thing that people will ask you if you come out of your center, if you fall into any state of depression, the first thing that people will ask you is, when did you stop dancing? For me, dancing is the direct channel to the divine. It's the direct channel to coming back to my center. And I'm sure in many of these transformational retreats and festivals, we've tasted what it feels like to be in the ecstasy of singing and dancing together. So that's why I feel that it's so important for us to create these fields where we are united in song and dance together, whether that's in person or whether it's in a virtual experience like this. And in all of my integration programs, I share a lot of embodiment practices, not only dance, but breath work, ceremonies, yoga, and bioenergetic shaking. So for me, I feel that to integrate it into our lives, into our bodies, just as Elijah said, with making those sounds, it's about bringing it into our bodies. And then finally, bringing it into our spirits. So I'd love for us to be able to close here with a prayer, remembering that prayer is our direct channel to spirit. So I'd love to take a moment here where we can all place one hand on our hearts. Make a sound into our heart as Elijah guided us to. Let's make a hum. And let's place our other hand up as an antenna, broadcasting this field of coherence out to all the people that are nearest and dearest to our hearts, to all the people that we love and care about, and especially to all of those people that are feeling isolated right now. So may we remember that we have the opportunity to awaken our vast potential together as a humanity by coming together, by how we show up for each other with pure, unconditional love and radical acceptance. May we remember that first showing up for ourselves in that place of radical acceptance is the key to being able to broaden our perspective and take in other people's ways of being. May we offer our life as a ceremony with every step a prayer. And may we offer our lives as an offering with our creativity, with how we show up for each other, with our authenticity, with the integrity of our word, by creating those fields of coherence and safety for each other's hearts and each other's nervous systems. And by showing up for this earth by creating these fields of reciprocity, where we are giving back more than we take of the earth and of all things, so that we can create the most beautiful world that our hearts know is possible for our children and our children's children and beyond. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti. And so be it. So it is.
And so it is. Thank you for creating together.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Ixchel. Beautiful. And you have a beautiful offering to share. Do you want to say something? Your website is gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Well, here's one thing. There's a free breathwork practice there. It's a practice of priming where we remember that we are sovereign, powerful creators of our reality. And in just 11 minutes, you can manifest all your visions and dreams with grace and ease and create anything you want for your life, your health, your body. So if you click on that, you can receive that free 11-minute practice. And yeah, just you can go onto both of my websites, sign up to be on the mailing list. I think the Instagram is there, livingwisdom.one, and I'll be sharing a lot more on how we can come into these fields of coherence through integrating these practices into our everyday lives.
Thank you, Ixchel. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Teresa. I love you so much, so much.
Thank you. I love you too. I'm gonna make a little shift in the flow of the program, and I'm gonna go to Matia, because that prayer, I could feel that prayer like moving through Matia right now, and I really just want to bring you back on camera, my sister, and I just want to like lay everybody into your loving arms right now, my sister. Yeah, feels like it's
It is
time.
so. It is well. It is done. It is well. It is done. I'm going to sing a little bit of this song by Donny Hathaway. Ooh. Hang on to the world as it spins around. Just don't let the spins get you down. Things are moving fast. Hold on tight and you will last. Keep your self-respect, your many prides. Get yourself in gear. Keep your stride. Never mind your fears. Ooh, brighter day will soon be here. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Praying for freedom, freedom of mind, freedom of spirit, freedom of our hearts. We're praying that we'll be able to one day all be able to be free. This is my favorite part. Keep on walking tall. Hold your head up high. Lay your dreams right up to the sky. Sing your greatest song. Yes. And we'll keep going on. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Oh, just wait and see, someday we will all be free. Oh, take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Just wait and see, someday we'll all be free.
Matia, someday we'll all be free. Let's just stay with us for a minute. Let's just stay with us for a minute. You know, you started us off and you brought us right into the most tender place of our own heart.
Yes.
And then you took us right to the place of our freedom. And this is only the second time that I've met Matia and had her on this show. And it's not going to be the last time that we're going to see this woman in anything that I'm doing. And I really just want to acknowledge that it's not just your voice that you're bringing. And I know my acknowledgement is touching you really deeply, Matia, because I'm feeling the gift that you bring onto this planet. And I really want to say thank you. I really want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we'll see more of Matia. We need more Matia on the planet. Thank you. Thank you, love. Wow. All right. Pete Longworth. Mr. Pete Longworth. Ah, that was so good. Another truth drop. Saturday Night Live. I like that this is a regular thing on Saturday Night Live. Don't you, Pete? Don't you think this is a really good thing?
Yes.
Yeah. It's Mercury retrograde. It's the last day. It's actually like the day when Mercury goes into stillness. I kind of felt that when Matia, you were just doing that. It's like whatever happened in the last 3 weeks, this is a moment where it all comes to a pause and it all gets integrated and something new emerges from here. And that's our freedom when we choose it. So, Mr. Pete, I know you got it going.
Truth drops. Truth drops are evocative pieces of short form video that are dedicated to delivering meaningful messages effectively. It's a place where well-earned stories get refined and serve as powerful life lessons for others. It's a potent playground for wisdom. Wisdom that gets distilled down to its most essential essence. They're intelligently crafted and then artfully delivered. No gimmicks, no BS, just pure, uncut, single take message. Truth drops are an open door, an opening of a door to greater potential. And it is my privilege to share with you a truth drop that we created with a dear brother, Mr. Adam Apollo, who provides an incredibly illuminating perspective on how through acceptance we can deepen into our potential.
Accepting the truth of our history changes everything. Studies have shown that our emotions can cause our DNA to contract or expand, bring us to disease, or restore our health. What happens when we change how we feel about our lineage and our ancestry, that which is encoded in our DNA? What happens when we change how we feel about our childhood? What happens when we change how we feel about the past and human history on this planet? Can we change who we are going to become by accepting more of who we are and who we have been?
I just love that piece. And if you would like to see more truth drops, you can visit the link in the slide. And if you would like to learn more, you can reach out anytime about how you can create your own truth drops. Thank you again.
Thank you, Pete. I'm so glad we're going to have truth drops regularly on Saturday Night Live. They're so potent, and I know you have some great ones. You have Nassim, you have some other really awesome people, and we have Pete doing his own truth drop. So, and I'm going to create a truth drop. You and me.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The world needs it.
There was a lot of truth drops laid down tonight so far. There was really a lot of truth drops laid down so far tonight. Thank you,
Truly.
team. And thank you for always taking the little offerings, the little gifts that I provide you and actually going for it in ways that are just astonishing. I love you for that. Thank you. Got it. All right. I'm going to turn this over now to, I think it's Deborah. She has a few things that Saturday Night Alive recommends, and I want to offer some space for that. And then we'll have a little bit more Jess Magic. We're going to have a little intro to a launch party that's happening next Saturday, and we're going to close with Cornflower. He wasn't able to play live tonight, but we Are the Medicine, and we're going to have a little dance party. Somebody said we need to dance, so we will have a little dance party at the end.
Thank you, everyone, for, again, an amazing show. And this is part of the show where we get to share some cutting edge opportunities that are now coming out during these highly evolutionary times. So one thing we want to share with you tonight is in regards to a new paradigm medical device that uses the power of healing frequencies and frequency medicine. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, try to understand it in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. And Albert Einstein said, the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. So the Healy is a wearable bioenergetic frequency healing device that analyzes your bioenergetic field and delivers customized microcurrent frequencies for optimum wellness, homeostasis, and cellular regeneration. I have personally had one for the last 9 months. I'm on computer a lot of the time, especially because of birthing this program every single week. And I have found that it's helped bring my energy into balance after being on the computer all day. So let's see a video about this now.
Healy is the new revolutionary machine that supports you in all the important areas of your life. This easily wearable device helps you to improve your well-being in a holistic and sustainable way. Whether for health, wellness, fitness, beauty, or the mind, Healy is extremely versatile. Healy's unique and specific frequencies can be used at any time to help on all levels with your overall well-being. You can easily navigate fast through the list of programs. The app is simple to use, and once installed, you can quickly choose the program that you desire and then transfer it to your Healy. With the 16 program groups, you have access to over 140 programs. The program groups can help you, ranging from stress, anxiety, pain relief, fitness, beauty, and peace of mind, or simply you wish to get a great night's sleep. Healy supports you in all areas of life. Try out Healy now for a better and healthier life.
Great. And one reason why we're sharing this with you, because periodically they do specials where you can get the product off for half price. And this is going to happen through March 1st. So it makes it really affordable. And I want to bring on now Ann Rogers, who's been working with Healy for a year or more and knows a lot about the product, has had a lot of experience herself in working with other people. So thank you, Ann, for coming on and saying a few words about the Healy.
Thank you. This is the little Healy right here. And when I first heard about this being available in a portable form, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it because we have a clinic and we use all the bioenergetic tools, the beamer and the biomat and all kinds of things that really create rapid healing and lower inflammation and do all kinds of things in the body. The Healy, this little guy, it's HEALY, is something that many of our friends here who are even on the program here have little Healys, and it just balances us out. The inventor of Healy was a monk for 12 years. He was a quantum physicist who wanted to really discover, how do you describe God in quantum physics terms? Well, he found that he was right between understanding God through consciousness as a monk, but he also was a quantum physicist. And he put together all these healers in Europe who were using this Rife type of technology and figured out a way to put it through our cell phone. And you download it from a cloud, you put it on, you wear it. And I've used it to correct so many things. It's like a little doctor for the house. I've recently woke up with a bladder infection, and I used a program to figure out which frequencies I needed, and I did them, and 2 hours later it was gone. So we have a special going on right now, and that's why Deborah brings this up every once in a while. It's because you can get it for anywhere, half price in many cases. So you can get it anywhere from $500 to $1,500 when it's normally upwards towards $2,500. So it's just an opportunity to jump in, get this little.
Hi. Oh, there you are.
All the programs are included with it, and it's an amazing little tool. So if you're interested, were you going to put up the information, Deborah?
Yeah, it's in the chat room, and we'll also put it in the email that you get on Monday, which has the replay. So you'll have it also sent to you. And Anne's available to answer your questions.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Is this thing is not necessarily easy to use. In some cases it is if you're tech savvy, but I recommend that you contact us if you buy one and let us train you, let us help you. It's an amazing little tool to add to your life. But let's do it together because it really makes a difference when you get trained on it. And that's what I'm making myself available to for Deborah's group.
Thank you, Anne.
I've got a Healy. I use it all the time. Deborah kept talking to me about it, and I was like, come on. But you know what? It gives me better energy, and it's helped me with back pain as well. So get your Healys, or at least get information. And this is a good reminder why it's really best for people watching on Facebook to come on into our Zoom room, where you can it's easier for you to get all the chat, so many links going back and forth, and just easier to track all that's going on this show. So Saturday Night Alive is growing and expanding in wonderful ways. And one of the things we're beginning to do now is to take our favorite teachers and give you an entire day with them. And so we decided we wanted to start with Andrew Harvey, who is amazing. He's my personal favorite living teacher at this time. And here's what Andrew has to say about the very first workshop we're going to do. It's going to be with Andrew on March 14th.
My name is Andrew Harvey, and on March the 14th, I will be presenting with Scott and his crew a fabulous day dedicated to the new book that I've written with Carolyn Baker called Radical Regeneration. In the morning, for 2 hours, I will lay out the radical vision that is exposed in that book of the great death that's happening in our global dark night and the extraordinary promise of birth that it holds. I believe that the dark night that we are in is the birth canal of a new embodied divine humanity. And I will lay out that belief in precise ways that will both warn you and galvanize you. Then in the afternoon, I will offer the vision that I have of radical intimacy with all things and the challenge to be noble in our time, and offer practices that can sustain both that level of intimacy with all things and strengthen that nobility that leads us forward into becoming sacred activists and birthers and warrior midwives of a new world.
I love that beautifully. So,
That's 1 minute, isn't it?
just amazing. You know what? I didn't time that one. He's amazing. He's just like so passionate. This guy's written 45 books. He's collaborated with people like the Dalai Lama. He speaks multiple languages, and he has an understanding on a very profound, dynamic level of what's going on this planet. So spend a morning and an afternoon with us. And Deborah's putting into the chat box the links. I'll just pull it up briefly so you can take a look at it. And again, you can come in for the morning from 9:30 till 11:30 Pacific time, or the afternoon from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, or you can do both. And of course, I encourage you to do both. Most important thing, register now and you'll get the early bird price, which is significantly less expensive. So come and register now. Then the last thing we want to share, and our Global Peace Tribe recommends, again, all these incredible people we meet. So most of you know I do a show every Friday night, and I do a show every Sunday, usually featuring some of our favorite people that we've seen on Saturday Night Alive. And tomorrow morning, as my special guest, I've got Carolyn Corey, who some of you have seen on this show. She's an amazing visionary, very psychic, very an example of what human beings are capable of. And she first explored her own superhuman abilities, and then she made a movie called Becoming Superhuman. And it's all through raising of consciousness. She's my special guest tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Again, Deborah's putting the link into the chat box. You can watch live on Facebook. Just go to my page or Love Coach Academy, or come into the Zoom room, and then you can come in and ask us questions. So hope to see you all tomorrow morning. Carolyn Corey is amazing. I did not know her before Saturday Night Live. I met her through the show, and I realized I wanted to spend time with her. So that's why we've got her coming onto the show. So thank you, everybody. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Teresa.
Thank you, guys. I have a Healy too. They work really great. Wendy Grace actually turned me onto it, and such a wonderful thing for us to use vibrational medicine to support us in our healing. Gregg, I wondered if you were there. I know that you have a busy morning tomorrow, and I wondered if you wanted to say a quick hello before you need to go. Let's see.
Oh, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here, and I do have a busy day. I have been muting in and out, and I want to stay till the end. So I want to see I want to see everything that's coming up. But I will say, if I don't get to say goodnight to everyone, thank you all for sharing your evening with us. I love you all, and I look forward to our next. But I'm here till the end.
Okay, great. Well, we're bringing Jess Magic up next. We're going to have Jess and Jenna with some music. And then I'm going to share about the the Islands of Coherence and the party. I want you guys to join us next Saturday. So let's bring Jess and Jenna in right now. Our volley, sweet loves.
Not going to say a lot of words about this one, but this is dedicated to all of you that just show up in your dharma, in your passion, in your service, and in your love. The song's called The Call. So many lives have been broken, and their stories remain unspoken. So many souls have been in prison. They've been living in miserable conditions. Innocence lost, what is the cost? So much pain, we can't go through it again. What is the cure? How can we be sure? What if the healing starts here with you? You heard the call, you made the choice that led up to the change. Now the world's not the same. You heard the call, you made the choice that led up to the change. Now the world's not the same. Now the world's not the same. So many living without vision. Waiting for someone to give them permission. Well, the time is now, there's no time for trying. Oh. You open your heart, you heard the crying. Oh. Innocence found when love pours out. That's what the heartbeat is all about. Innocence found when love pours out. That's what the heartbeat is all about. You heard the call, you made the choice that led up to the change. Now the world's not the same. You heard the call, you made the choice that led up to the change. Now the world's not the same. Now the world's not the same. You are the call, you are the change, you are the choice. You are the one, you are the love, you are the voice. You are the call, you are the change, you are the choice. You are the one, you are the love, you are the voice. You stood for freedom to fight the slavery. And then you overcame fears just to face your bravery. In the vine, then you lifted your voice to end the silence. Innocence gained, replacing the pain. With hope and love, we can come in from the rain. Courage is clear, the time is right here. This is the mission that we're living right now. You heard the call, you made the choice that led up to the change. Now the world's not the same. You heard the call, you made the choice that led up to the change. Now the world's not the same. Now the world's not the same. So, in these final moments of this song, I would like to invite you to close your eyes and bring into your mind's eye and your heart's awareness somebody in your life, maybe an unsung hero, maybe it's yourself, who has dedicated themselves to devotional service, showing up, especially during these times, in a way that brings more love, more healing, more action, more heart. And we'll sing these last words. You are the call, you are the change, you are the choice, you are the one, you are the love, you are the voice. And we'll sing that in dedication as a sound bath of acknowledgement to all those unseen moments of devotion. Thank you, all of you watching, for hearing the call, making the choice that leads up to the change, even the small changes that have cosmic significance. You are the call, you are the change, you are the choice. You are the one, you are the love, you are the voice. You are the call, you are the change, you are the choice. You are the one, you are the love, you are the voice. Oh. Thank you.
Oh, bring those girls back on in the shared screen so we can see them. Oh, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing your love. And, you know, one thing, Scott's going to bring up your website, Jess, with the Rise of the Heartiest. And I just want to say that that's, you and I have one thing in common where we actually can see that there is a solar system of organizations and initiatives and people that are really modeling and embodying and expressing the change and creativity, and we're like raising a flag to say, here they are, like this is the place to gather, right? If we want to stabilize, then let's come home to this place in the center of our fire circle, and you really are making a space for that, and you're making a space for other artists to be seen and heard, and I just really want to appreciate you, and I want to appreciate your team there, and you know I love you, Jenna Lee, and all that you do to help bring this message out. So thank you both, and let's keep doing it. Let's keep like shining a light on the amazing uprising of love that is happening everywhere. And just tell us a little bit about some of the things you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, Rise of the Heartiest is really at the core of the Dharma here, and introducing heartistry as a meme, which I love so much how you've adopted that, and so many of our collaborators have adopted that as a meme, because it really speaks to this archetype that is the marriage between the lover and the artist, the creator, and also that who is devoted to service at this time. Probably if people want to get more involved with their own heartistry right now, the best way is to get involved with this program I have called Free Your Voice. And it's really beyond singing. It's this idea that we don't sing to be good, we sing to be free, and that Ixchel spoke about it, and Gregg spoke about it, and Elijah spoke about it, but there's this opportunity to go into the somatic intelligence and to release barriers and blocks so that we can be the most liberated, free versions of ourselves. And the voice is a channel that allows us to express our soul out in the world. And as we learn how to do that, as we learn how to resonate from our soul, resonate from our heart, and then bring the quality of that level of embodiment and wisdom and connection through our voice, it allows us to have a completely different experience of being human. So that's an offering that you can check out on my website. And the last thing I'll say is that Jenna and I and our friend Kita are recording an EP. And this is the first time people are like, oh, where can we hear your music? I'm like, well, if I'm playing the ukulele, you can hear my music. But we're recording, including that last song we just sang, we're recording an EP. So if you want to stay in touch about that, just sign up on the website, on my website, and we'll keep you posted about what's happening. But the release will be in April.
Yay. Thank you guys so much. And, you know, the other thing, Jess, I just want to say that you guys are really raising a flag for, making visible, is our need to support the artists. Like, you know, if you're inspired by whomever right now, and they're nurturing you in some way, like give them a little love, give them a little bit of resources. Like, we need to fund the new world. We need to stop funding the old story. We need to really watch where we're putting our resources and our time and energy. And I really appreciate that your initiative with reimagining the 1% is really calling us all to say, like, what if we invested some of our time and our energy and our resources into funding and contributing and experiencing the new? And so thank you for that.
It's time for the modern renaissance. It's happening. So the heartists and funding the heartists, I call them patrons of the hearts, but it was patrons back in that era that believed in this certain quality of artistry that helped lift a whole civilization out of a depression, out of the dark ages. And so we're in that right now. And I do believe that it's the heartists, and by elevating those heartists and storytellers that you are so attuned to curating, Teresa, and that are on this show, that's a huge way that we're going to actually experience this phase shift.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Blessings to everybody. I'm just gonna, I'm sharing a screen on a different part. So there we go. I'm just gonna go, and I'm just gonna do a quick little something. And then we have one more show promo of an upcoming show, and then we're gonna end with Cornflower and have a little dance time. So those are our two things left, so stay on just for a few more minutes. And I will just say, as I said in the beginning, that I think awakening to our vast potential is an inside job first and foremost. And this little image here, I've had this for a really long time. This is what Elijah was talking about with our Taurus, with this energy that radiates from inside of us. And I really think that that's really the first place that it happens, but it is in community. It is in a communion of souls that it happens. And I've been drawing these images for a long time. If you see some of the images that I've been drawing over the years, for the last 20 years, as I've been working with pioneers like Barbara Marx Hubbard and Gene Keys and Resonance Science Foundation and Thrive and so many others, I've been seeing this clustering that begins to occur as the awakening begins to happen. And I think that we are being clustered right now. I think that we're being gathered together when we come into that place of wholeness inside of ourselves, and we begin to attune into the current of our purpose, and we begin to find the part of the body, the new body that we are. And these are the kind of images that I've really seen in my mind's eye and my heart's eye, that this is what's occurring right now. It's that we're finding ourselves, investing our time and energy, really finding where we actually feel alive, and that's where we're investing our time and our love and our energy. And this quote, when I was working with Barbara Marx Hubbard 20 some years ago, the moment that I heard this quote, when a complex system is far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence. We've been a small islands of coherence tonight. Small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to lift the entire system to a higher order. And the moment that I heard that quote, I had this cellular experience that we were the answer, and that our coherence would be needed at some moment of time. And it really set me on the path of my life and my life of service. It's like everything that I've been doing since then is, first of all, how do I cultivate greater presence and resonance and coherence in the heart of my own life? And how do we join together to do that? Because I believe it's the islands of coherence that are what's needed from us right now. And so in fulfillment of this feeling of purpose, the team that has been producing the Global Coherence Pulses, we have created something, whoops, I'm going to go back to that, called the Islands of Coherence, and it's a new heart-centered social network. We actually launched it, the first version, back in August when we did the Global Coherence Pulse experience. And I just feel like we can have these events, we can have these moments, but what we need right now is we need a playground. We need a space where we can actually practice and cultivate and pulse the planet with this coherent energy, where we can really focus our energy and attention with one another, and really begin to embody what an island of coherence is. And in this new social network, which we're going to co-create together, it's not being kind of given to us from somewhere on high, but that we're going to be able to co-create it. Love is our core principle. Cultivating coherence is our core practice. And co-creating a thriving world for all our shared purpose. Like, isn't that what we're looking for? And I think many of us are wanting to get off Facebook and some of the other social environments where censorship is becoming so rampant, where we're just being advertised things that are like relevant to our age group. I see nothing on Facebook but age creams, because now I'm 59. So I should be thinking about how I look, right? And instead we have a place where we can come together and we can actually focus on the embodiment of what it is we're talking about. So the Islands of Coherence, we're going to have a launch party next Saturday at 12 o'clock, and we will open this new social network, and we'll tell you all about it then. And so I hope that you'll join us. If you go to islandsofcoherence.net, I'll tell you more then. But it's really a beautiful place, a virtual village, a space where we can come together as heart-centered peers, and we can cultivate something beautiful together. And many of the people that we're on tonight will be hosting clusters there. So anyway, come and see what's going to be happening there. Oh, wow. What an amazing evening that we've had. And Scott, I think you had one more thing that you wanted to share before we opened it up for Cornflower.
I do.
And move our bodies just a little bit at the end. Oh, look, we got the girls in black and white.
Oh, yeah, I got it. They are black and white.
We're going to have a dance party. I can feel it coming.
We
All
are.
right.
We're going to close out with a dance party, which will be fantastic, with those three lovely ladies in Bali leading the way for us. My gosh. Well, you know, I do want to let everybody know that every week is amazing. I mean, come on, every week I go, what? To be honest, I said that was our best show. And then people say, well, that's what you said last week. I go, what? That's what I felt last week. It's like each week is our best show. And so I do want to just remind you that we are going to be doing some really beautiful things next week, optimizing health. And then coming up in March, we've got the animal show that we told you about. Send us your photos of your animals. And we're also going to do another Indigenous show, also brought to you by J. Mayer and Light Touch. So March 27th, our next Indigenous show. And Giselle, who just saw us singing, she's going to be performing on our show next week. So we're really excited about that. So definitely join us. And I think now to wrap us up, we're going to bring on one of our favorite musicians. You've seen him on Saturday Night Live many times before. Teresa, I'll let you say whatever you want to say about our beloved brother Cornflower.
Cornflower, I'm so happy to have you on today, and I'm so sorry we didn't get to hear you live, but we're going to hear you. We're going to hear you with one of my favorite songs of yours. And also, you're another one that I just know that we need to hear more from you with your words as well as your music. So I'm looking forward to bringing that forth from you. And I love you, Cornflower, and I know that we have lots of dancing to do going forward. I'm going to bring Cornflower into a course that I'm going to be creating on living in the current of your purpose, because every time I talk to him, I feel like he's opening to ride that current right now, and so hearing from him will be so valuable. So Cornflower, turning it over to you, and well, let's have a dance party.
Yeah, well, again, I don't know if you guys can hear me well or if you can see me well. The internet here has been...
You look great, and we hear you fine.
I'm so grateful. It's been a journey and an opportunity to breathe. And I think to tie it into what the focus of this event has been about, awakening to our potential together, is how we respond to moments of challenge, and how we flip the script on our perspective of what it is that's being presented to us, because everything that shows up is showing up for us. And that's been a lesson I've learned over and over. And I feel like I'm finally starting to relax into that truth. And tonight was an opportunity to relax into that truth and to hand it off. And thank you, Elijah Ray, for my dear brother from the One Mother showing up and bringing my favorite song of his to play earlier. So thank you, brother. Oh yeah, there he is. Thank you so much, man, for the way you show up, and I'm so grateful for the way we've woven our lives together over 15 years now, 16 years. So, yeah, I am just thrilled to share with you this song. You Are the Medicine came through in 2009 in the middle of a jam, and it slowly made its way out into the world. And finally, I found two brothers from the band Indubious, who both carry a very similar ray as all of the heartists here, in that they have big medicine that comes through their lyrics and their presence. They both were born with cystic fibrosis and have completely crushed what the doctors said about their lives. They said they would live until they're 18, and they're now in their mid to late 30s, and providing some of the greatest musical medicine on the planet. And I was so honored to get to co-create this song with them. And I'm so grateful Teresa called forth this song, because I think it really sums up a lot of what everyone was speaking to today. So with that said, I think Scott is the maestro with the play button. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here.
And you know, ironically, your audio and your video is perfect right now, just so you know. So it's a cosmic joke. You know, these guys in Dubious are amazing. So that you're playing with them is something. So I'm going to start the video, but everybody start dancing. And I may go back and forth a little bit between visually seeing the video and visually seeing our beloveds in Bali and anybody else dancing. So here we go.
Awesome.
To plan Do you understand? Our presence allows all of life to be as it is. The deeper that you can go, the bigger the love can exist. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, now we need your love to heal us. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, 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 love. It is so magnificent the way your love's a present that you can bring everywhere you go. Well, it is effervescent and it is such a blessing that you can heal everyone you know. I see now, brother, will you let that flow? You gotta open up your heart and soul, because the world and everyone you know, they really need your medicine right now. I know you feel it, the power emanating from your spirit, a medicine so powerful, you know you got to give it like a present. Don't hesitate to wait too long to give it, now's the moment. Just keep the love flowing like the waves upon the ocean. You're the potion here to bring a love divine, an antidote to counteract the poison of the mind. So open up your book and let your pages unfold. Don't leave your story untold. Yo, you are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, now we need your love to heal us. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, 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 love. I say the road to the top is not the same unto your heart. So be careful of the path you're treading on. For the people of this world, I'll have a likeness to yourself, and the lesson for your soul to remain strong. The light, it is a vehicle for all your inspiration, but the darkness also plays a major part. For the balance in the world will help you see a higher self, to bring the medicine, the hope, to right the wrongs. Your life, it is a prayer, so someone tell me where, yeah, we can find a temple when your God is everywhere. It's not the things you wear or the music that you play, it's the quiet to the mind to help to bring the lion's share. You see, people, it's in you, cause everything you do is devotion in the holy recognition of the truth. Yeah, and if we only knew the humble are the few, or you could bow your head and you could see it all in you. Well, yes, it's true. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, we really need your love to heal us. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, 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 love. When we expand our awareness into every cell, we awaken the light. And now our presence evokes to all those whom surround the light inside. Never knew that our presence allows a doorway into consciousness. The deeper that you can go, the bigger the love can exist. Oh, you are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, well, now we need your love to heal us. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world. With our love, 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 love. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love, 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 love.
Oh my Lord, absolutely positively my favorite video of all time. Wow. I'm gonna leave the credits up because everybody who made this really deserves a lot of appreciation. Beautifully edited. Cornflower edited it. Oh my Lord. Unbelievable. Wow.
Exquisite prayer, brother.
Thank you, Elijah.
God, so good.
It's so beautiful how things like this come together. You know, I was in the middle of a jam in 2009, and the "You Are the Medicine That's Been Sent Here to Heal the World" came through. And in 2010, I started like writing more of the lyrics, and that was when I met Indubious. And then later in 2011, we were touring together, and we were like, "Let's do a song." And I said, "Well, I have one. I just need some more lyrics to it." So I sent them the track, and they put in the lyrics, and we performed it live for the first time in 2013, and then started recording in 2014. And finally released it in 2018. It's just, there's a timing to everything. So it's been a beautiful journey.
Absolutely gorgeous. Perfect way to close out this show.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's stay on gallery view. I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight and adding your love into this exploration of how do we awaken our vast potential together. And you can see we're already doing it. It's happening right now through all of us, and we need each other. We need moments like this where we can come together and just remember, and the more that we remember, the more that we can stabilize. And so I just want to thank you, Elijah Ray. Just love you so much. Thank you so much. And the Bali crew, you girls, and Pete, guys look so beautiful in black and white there, just dancing away and sharing your love. Thank you so much for that. And Cornflower, yeah, there we go. And I brought in Daniela and Maxie, who are some regulars on our Global Coherence Pulse and on our breakout groups. And Maxie's like, I don't know, how old is Maxie? I don't remember how old he is, but he's like my youngest fan. And we have a love affair going, Maxie and I. So they've joined us tonight. And Jay, thank you for all that you do to make Global Coherence Pulse happen. And Deborah and Scott. Wow, what a beautiful crew. And thank you. There's Maxie. Hi, Maxie. Staying up.
Hey.
You love me? I just love our house party.
You love our house party.
It was the first party we joined, and he loved it. He loved to see Gregg again, and we are with you, Gregg, and with all of you, feel so connected. Thank you.
Love to see you. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for showing up tonight, and thanks for inviting us into your living room and into your heart and into this exploration. And let's keep asking this question, and let's keep finding out what it actually takes to awaken our vast potential together. And come to our launch party next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Well, I'll be there. We'll be there 12 noon Pacific time. And then, of course, at 6 o'clock, Saturday Night Live again. Thank you, everybody. It was wonderful. What a great, amazing group of high vibe beings. And thank you to everybody watching. You know, obviously, people here on camera get to get the exposure, but, you know, each and every one of you at home, you are all just as important. We're all precious cells, imaginal cells, finding each other and creating the butterfly out of the dying caterpillar. And so God bless each and every one of us. Thank you. Great job, Teresa. Love all of you.
Thanks.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you all next Saturday. Bye-bye.